Good evening and welcome to the finals of Football Northern Territory's Men's Premier Division. And we start with the semi-final between second-placed Mindil Aces and third-placed Azzurri. As you can see, referee Ryan Prescott out on the pitch, just about ready to get this game underway. For those of you not familiar with the teams, it's Mindil in their away kit tonight. The dark green with yellow socks, and Azzurri in the blue. And so we kick off in the finals here with Tavian Ludvigsen getting things underway for Mindil. And they need a response tonight, having come into the finals after being soundly beaten by Port Darwin, who missed out on the top four in the final game of the season. And right now they're controlling possession off the top, and an early through ball. How they would love to strike early. It's Reinberg, blocked initially, shooting again, and a good save by Angelo Theodorakopoulos, the goalkeeper for Azzurri, holding on there. And that would have been ideal for Mindil in order to get this game underway, given their recent struggles. Azzurri have been caught cold here. They need to respond. Ludvigsen, and the flag is up. It looks as though that's going to be offside. So we've crashed in on the stream tonight. Let's go to the teams. Mindil with Arlo Race in goal, Brian McCormick, Taiki Kudo, Mario Kwakanen, Charles Eriku, Matthew Mifsud, Christopher Reinberg, Kane McDowell, Jeffrey Williams, Tavian Ludvigsen, and Johnny Pencho. As we see an attempted pass through here, but the ball has been kept away from the Azzurri attacker. And it goes out for an early corner kick. And Joel Amal there was lurking. So we wait for the corner to be taken. And well defended initially by the defender from Mindil. And even though they named Zach Kirby as one of their subs tonight, it appears as though Mindil have put him on the field in the starting 11. So we'll have to work out who they ended up putting on the bench as we see a clearance away here.
Kirby is on the bench. It's very much a lookalike, though, with Brian McCormack wearing number 2 for Mindil Aces in the centre-half position, Teo.
High ball out to the left-hand side. And the cross coming in and headed across the face. Mindil trying to chase it down. And at the centre of defence, John Dean, I'm going to say hello to you for the first time tonight because I've got you in my ears, and I apologise for talking blind over the top of you in the first 3 minutes. Hello.
How are you, mate? Great to be back with you. And where would you want to be other than watching final football on a fantastic Friday night here in Darwin, mate?
So I was a little caught out by the kick-off. I just want to check in with you on the weather and conditions for this all-important semi-final.
So 29 degrees here today. The humidity's not what it's been the last few weeks. It's fantastic out there for the players at the moment. And we've got a nice northeasterly coming in at about 19, 20 kilometres an hour. So that's left to right on the screen. So it's brilliant conditions for the players. It's a little bit sticky, but for this time of year in Darwin, the players will really be enjoying this. It's great conditions for football. And as you can see, the deck looking the best it has in weeks after a bit of recent rain.
And just on the Mindil selection, I mean, we didn't see McCormick play in the game against Port Darwin last week. They've kept the starting 11 largely the same. But what do you make of William Reeve? At least they listed him as a sub. I'm not sure if he's actually started the game now that Kirby is playing. But what did you make of that Mindil starting 11?
No, Kirby and Reeve are both on the bench. Both saw some minutes in the reserve grade semi-final, which was played immediately before this, which Mindil lost 9-0, so not a great omen for them. It's McCormack that's starting. It looks similar, but in the number 2. But, you know, in terms of that game last week against Port Darwin, the 2 big ins, Tavian Ludvigsen up top, which allows Reinberg to go out left where he prefers, and Kane McDowell. So they were soundly beaten last week, as were their opponents tonight. Azzurri, obviously going down 5-0 to Hellenic. 5-0 to Hellenic, but key changes for Mindil, as this is definitely their best available 11, although we'll see how they go fitness-wise. Plenty of them have had 2 or 3 weeks out.
As we wait for this hopeful long ball, it might turn into something here for Eriku, and held on to, well, initially by Theodorakopoulos, who's already had to make 1 good save. What about the Azzurri team? That scoreline against Hellenic was a big surprise. I mean, they would have fancied themselves as a title challenge to win the grand final. I wonder if that'll demoralise them, knowing that that's what's potentially waiting for them should they win tonight.
Look, Michael Roditis is a very astute coach. I don't think so. That scoreline wasn't really reflective. It was 1-0 after 80 minutes. You know, they just sort of capitulated in that last 10, but they were also under strength. You know, they rested Nathaniel Paredes because he was walking the yellow card tightrope, had a number of different players in. So, you know, look, their focus will be to get through tonight. They'll feel this is very winnable and then worry about next week. But, you know, it's an unusual situation where you have both teams at second and third coming in on the back of 5 goal drubbings.
It's a very good shout. I couldn't agree with you more that it does suggest that they limped into the finals, but they're here and they're still with a 1-in-4 shot. And, well, one of them must go through to the grand final tonight. If we're drawn at the end of 90 minutes, we'll have conventional extra time and then penalties if required. Right now, Mindil are trying to break this deadlock. We'll go to the Azzurri starting 11 after this free kick. But let's wait first on Reinberg and see what he can conjure up. Right into the hot spot. And Eriku almost fighting with his own man there, Johnny Pencho, as it goes behind for a goal kick. So here's the Azzurri starting 11. Angelo Theodorakopoulos, their goalkeeper. 3, Abamosa. 7, Nathaniel Paredes. 9, Edwin McGrath. 10, Tega Ajeke. 11, Kelvin Mapindere. 13, Dean Edwards. 14, Jomianis Jolamal. 17, Anwar Arbabor. 19, the second highest scorer in the league, Uche Okwara, with 22 goals. And number 20 is Peter Roditis. And would you believe, John, that Mindil played in just 2 draws the entire season? Azzurri managed to play in just 1. That's in a 20-game home and away season. So does that make a draw in extra time an inevitability tonight?
The way football works, you'd think that, but I'd suggest it's not going to be a 0-0 draw. Both sides are going to hit the scoreboard tonight. We're going to see some goal-mouth action. And just on that, obviously, with 5 subs always being in the case anyway in Darwin.
We see the fingertips are stung here. Follow-up shot is swung wide left. Paredes with the chance. And Uni Azzurri, well, they'll be ruining the chance not to have scored themselves. And an end-to-end first 8 minutes, John. Good chances at both ends.
Absolutely. That was a fantastic opportunity for both Paredes and then Acquara on the follow-up. I was letting you have the play back there, sorry. But I was just saying, there's already 5 substitutes allowed in the Darwin Men's Premier League regardless. So when we go to extra time, there's no additional substitutes that will come into play. It'll just be a war of attrition.
And what about the crowd, John? Because it sounds rowdy at the Darwin Football Stadium this evening.
It most certainly is. There was an under-19s grand final here on Sunday and it was packed. We've increased the capacity for finals from 500 to 1,000 and I can tell you that every seat in the house is taken.
Great to hear. Great for the round ball game up in the Northern Territory. Here's a long ball. Mapindere trying to seek out the run here of Edwin McGrath. And even though he wears the number 9 shirt, Edwin McGrath, he's found the back of the net just the 2 times this season. It's not like he's been a regular, though, John, in the team. It's been all about Uche Okwara, the Nigerian-born forward who's managed to get a bit of media spotlight due to a season which started slowly, and then once he found his scoring rhythm, just could not stop, and he ended up only missing out on the golden boot by a single strike.
Yeah, his form has been phenomenal. As we pointed out last week, he's hitting the net with such regularity the last 4 weeks of the season, save for last week, of course. He got 12 in 4, 10 in his last 2 games prior to last week. But, if anybody has mental scars from that game against Hellenic, it will be Chris Aquara. He has not scored against Hellenic this season. Obviously, they've got to get through tonight before they worry about potentially playing Hellenic next week, but that could be a telling factor.
Well, at the next break in play, I'll run through the head-to-heads between these two during the year, of which there have been 4. I commentated one of them. But back in round 3, it was Mindil Aces 5 beating Uni Azzurri 1. Ludvigsen, the number 14 for Mindil, scored a hat-trick. Charles Eriku, the number 7, scored 2. And Okwara, who we were just talking about, was the lone scorer for Azzurri that night. As we see an attempted clearance charge down, but the assistant referee on the near side, who is Nasir Juman, is flagging. And it is a quickly taken free kick here for the Aces. It's a solid challenge coming in from Abam Mosa. And now Paredes. Azzurri trying to stay moving at all costs. To Mosa again. And now the quick turn out to the right. Paredes. He's going to have to go and retrieve against the byline. Slides it low. And Mifsud, the captain of Mindil, able to take the sting out of that cross. I'll get back to the head-to-heads at the next break in play, but right now, it's a flowing move. Just starting to stutter from Mindil. Kane McDowell, dispossessed. And swung over to the left side. Hopeful ball. That was Jolamal. So the second head-to-head was a 1-0 win for Mindil. This was the game I commentated. It was a Friday night. Mindil scored through Ludvigsen in the first half and then clung on for dear life as Azzurri laid siege but couldn't score. And they lost that 1-0, and I'm not sure they forgave themselves, but they bounced back in the other 2 head-to-heads. In round 13, it was 1-0 thanks to Nathaniel Paredes. And then in round 16, a game that hopefully we'll get a little bit of tonight, it was Azzurri winning 5-3. And here goes Eriku on the tight angle, stings the fingertips of the keeper. And his defence is quick to send it behind for a corner. As we take a look at the stand here, almost completely full at Darwin Football Stadium. But back in round 16, it was Aquara with 4, Jolamal with the other goal, and then Kane McDowell, Mindil's number 10, with 2 goals, and Taiki Kudo with 1. So 2 wins each this season, John, and a form line that suggests that it reflects Azzurri's improvement as a team throughout the course of the season.
Oh, most certainly does. And that round 16 match was actually the third last match they played. 19 and 20 were played midweek. So we're only talking about 3 weeks ago. And there was a little bit of afters in that, as you may recall, Teo. So that will not be lost on any of these players if they need extra motivation tonight.
As we see the corner here. Well, after the round 8 game as well, John, there was a late red card for some needless violent conduct from an Azzurri player who I don't think has reappeared since in the seniors this year. But we'll stay with the 11s that are on the pitch right now. And that is a pass to no one in particular. Of course, these two finished 2nd and 3rd. It is a straight knockout game. Winner to the final. Loser, season is over. And then tomorrow night, it is the minor premiers Hellenic taking on Casuarina. And John, it would be remiss of me not to inquire to you about last weekend where Port Darwin went in, and I may have understated the size of the miracle that you needed to make the top 4. We'll come back to that. Taiki Kudo cuts it in. Eriku with the first-time shot, and not enough power to trouble Theodorakopoulos. But I tell you what, John, you gave it for a 1,000-to-1 shot, needing to win, then have Casuarina lose to the Wooden Spoon Darwin Hearts on the Saturday and make up 7 goals difference. You gave it an almighty shake.
And that's probably the biggest frustration, Teo, is the fact that that did happen from a Port Darwin perspective. Obviously, I'm the president of the club and one of the players, but the side is well good enough to be playing finals football. But we gave away the first 6 games of the season and lost a few games post that we shouldn't have, against teams that we shouldn't have, and put ourselves in that impossible position, and obviously came very close to pulling it off. But when you see nights like this and occasions like this, you just want to be out there, and that's the biggest frustration for everybody.
I think that it kept the season interesting right down to the penultimate game of the campaign. So for that, I think the club deserves some credit, as much as you would love to have had the reward of playing in a game like this. Of course, Mindil had booked their ticket well in advance, and Azzurri were mathematically safe 3 games from home. And now it all goes on the line tonight. From the right flank this time, Ludvigsen. Ball is cleared away. Tavian Ludvigsen, John, he started the season with a rush of goals, but he has stalled. His form reflects Mindil's, 12 for the campaign. Charles Ericu on the wing has 8. I'm sure they both feel as though they should be in the high teens based on the way the league has panned out and some of the chances that they haven't been able to take this year. They'd love to find their scoring boots tonight, and they may just get the opportunity here. Quackinen, high ball. Nowhere near any of the attackers, though, and headed away. Kane McDowell retains possession. Plays it to Taiki Kudo. And now through the left side, Jeffrey Williams, one of the inclusions tonight to that man Ludvigsen, the spearhead of the team. Plays it to Reinberg, cutting in onto his right side. And took on one defender too many. And now the ball is whipped away, but not too far. Johnny Pencho.
Yes, to your point earlier, Teo, in regards to Ludvigsen and Ericu, yeah, their fortunes definitely mirrored Mindil's. They've had probably more significant or serious injuries this year than any other side in the competition. A number of ACLs and players out for long periods of time that really upset their rhythm and their best 11 that was available. And so goals dried up as the 11 sort of changed. But Ludvigsen's been out the last few weeks with an injury. He's back tonight, as is Kane McDowell. And they'll change the fortunes, I'm sure, for Mindil in terms of those goals hitting the back of the net.
And McDowell here taking a long shot. Found the back of the net twice the last time these teams met. And then the long shot here from Quackinen goes over the bar. Well, for those not familiar with the competition, who haven't watched it every week like us, John, or participated in it every week, the Mindil's definitely been the most disrupted team in terms of the number of different players they've had to use.
Yes, certainly. And of the 4 teams that are left, most certainly they have been, and they're just getting that best 11 back now, as I said earlier, and that's what's led to Ludvigsen being so isolated up top. At times, Reinberg, who's operating on the left wing where he prefers to play tonight, has been up top where he's not as comfortable at 9. When Ludvigsen has been up there, Kane McDowell and Quackinen haven't had extended periods together in the midfield. Obviously, Thiago Arugio, who scored that worldie at the beginning of the season, possibly still the goal of the season, to be honest, out with that season-ending knee injury. Mindil, you've got to have some luck as well as skill, and they certainly haven't had a great deal through the back half of this season after opening it absolutely on fire.
Yeah, they really did look like the top team, not just the natural competitor to Hellenic, but very much the pace setter until those injuries steadily started to bite. And yes, the loss of Thiago Araujo, absolutely noticeable to this team. That goal he scored in the first game after the COVID restart feels like even longer ago than the 3 months that it actually is. As we see a long high ball out to the touchline, and things have just settled down. But I tell you what, John, we've flown through 17 and a half minutes with both teams having decent chances to break the deadlock.
That we certainly have, and if I compare this to the semi-final that we played immediately before it, the first 17 minutes was really cagey. Both sides trying to not sort of concede, whereas this game, both sides have come out with some real purpose and intent, which I think sets us up fantastically because the pace is very high, and as I said, that's going to tell on both sides in the second half.
Attempted through ball here, almost measured to perfection. Theodore Akopoulos out of his line to stop Ericu banking a run at the ball. The assistant referee over on the outer side is Mark Dent. And we have 4th officials tonight. That is Albert Kraus. And I'll just run through the benches as well. Mindil, Michael Kudra, Zach Kirby, Tan U returning to the squad after a few weeks out, William Reeve and Levi Winman. And for Uni Azzurri, Daxon Masai, Alvin Dingle, Felicio Gutierrez, Anthony Delembo, and Anthony Niakuri. And perhaps the only selection that I did raise my eyebrows at, John, was Anthony Delembo being left on the bench, because as part of Azzurri's mid to late season revival, I think he's been just a very reliable and accountable player in that central midfield role that he plays.
He absolutely is, but he's not 100% fit, still coming back from injury. Fit enough to be on the bench, but not fit enough to start, according to Coach Rodriguez. And I guess that's just a tactical one. You either start with a player and they get as many minutes as they can, and then you take them off, or you leave them on the bench and play them for 20, 30 if needed. So Rodriguez has gone the latter tonight, but you're absolutely right about how important he is to this team. The other tip I will give you is Michael Kudra for Mindil, if he does get on the field tonight. It's his debut after winning the Under-19s Grand Final on Sunday that I spoke about earlier.
And a teasing ball into the boxes, led with the fist by Arlo Race, now on the turn, and no purchase on the attempt there. Swinging well wide and harmless in the end of Okwara. So 20 minutes. Well, I guess it's a big stage to potentially debut on, but some coaches, John, when you get to big games like this, even if you have the opportunity of 5 subs, coaches do tend to sometimes forget about them, even if it's hot, even if it's challenging. Maybe they trust the 11 that they started with. We'll have to wait and see how that pans out. Exchange of headers here. And now Azzurri with a quick ball over the right side. Paredes has done a lot of the running, and he's kept possession here after going to ground, sliding it into the 6-yard box. And attempting to step over and backheel it in was Okwara. And he didn't quite get the angle right. Wrong idea, wrong execution.
That was goal bound, mate. That was on target, and they've given a corner. And it's been overruled. Sorry, the AR flagged for a corner as though Okwara got there on target and had been saved by the centre half there. And he's been overruled by the central linesman. But either way, that's a shot full of absolute confidence from Chris Okwara.
Well, your eagle eye there, John. Maybe agreeing with the assistant referee, but overruled by the central. And it means that Mindil have a chance to build an attack of their own, but short-lived as it goes out. Dean Edwards is a real metronome, just full of running always down that right flank for Uni Azzurri. Watch for him throughout the course of the game as the night wears on and other players tire. Now McGrath caught in possession. Eriku able to advance down the right side, being guarded closely by Ajeke. And the slide challenge is able to force the ball behind. A number of corners already. And now it's Mindil's turn to stand under a set piece. About a quarter of the way through regulation time. Scores deadlocked and headed away off the near post. Counter-attack potentially for Jolamal. Scored last time the two teams met. And he just decelerates here and waits for the runners in support. McGrath caught in possession. And well played by the backtracking Mindil players.
Yes, McGrath squandered that there. Paredes was in acres of space. He's made a gut-busting run to get down the right-hand side and just ignored his chaser there, unfortunately, from an Azzurri perspective.
Now from the left side of midfield, veering central, Arbabor. Distributed out to the right. Paredes has had the ball on a string and a teasing cross. Can't find a teammate. They have not marked Nathaniel Paredes very closely, though, have they, John? They've let him really have that flank to himself.
It's an interesting tactical decision there from the Mindil Aces, because if they've watched the games previous, obviously he didn't play last week, Nathaniel Paredes, as I said, making sure they didn't get a 5th yellow card. But most of Chris Okwara's goals have been coming via an assist from Nathaniel Paredes, getting to the byline and then cutting it back in. So if they continue to leave him unmarked, they are just asking for trouble here tonight.
Plenty of time being taken over this corner kick. Lots of runners breaking in the box. High in swinger, keeper's missed it, in! And the opening goal comes for Uni Azzurri, and it's Tega Ajeke who has nodded home. And you feel for him that will be a big measure of relief, given it was his header at point-blank range back in round 8 that cost Azzurri the chance to draw in stoppage. Right now, though, in the here and now, it is Uni Azzurri 1, Mindil Aces 0, and John Dean, too much height and not enough marking at the set piece.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Ajike is very, very strong, and he doesn't wear the armband, but he's the inspirational leader of this side. He rose well there, but no one was within QE of him, and he's nodded that one home from half a yard out. You know, Mindil will be ruining that because it was an easy one for Ajike, and he made absolutely no mistake, did Tega.
Powered in, good header. Good technique as he met the ball. And it means that Azzurri have broken the deadlock. And now Mindil need a response. Certainly the goals have come freely for Mindil all season. The question has been their defending. In fact, they haven't been held scoreless since round 13. Funnily enough, that was against Uni Azzurri, but they've been free scoring since then, but their defence has been considerably leaky. But it'll give them enough hope about finding a way back into the game, and so often in this competition, it doesn't really matter what the scoreline is. The game is never over. Long ball here, keeper drawn out, Arlo Race, and he's meeting the ball solidly to clear. It's pinballing around at the moment, though. Azzurri have it back at their feet. Jolamal. Oh, it's a giveaway that is going to draw a slide tackle and a foul. And Aber Mosa protests his innocence, but he clattered Mario Kwakanen there.
We'll agree to disagree. I thought that was a good tackle, but the referees agreed with you there, Teo, and has adjudicated the foul. But an interesting tactical move from Mindil tonight. Arlo Race is playing much, much higher as a sort of a sweeper keeper than what we've seen him play so far this year. You know, more akin to what we see from Dion Newell with Casuarina, and that's to counteract the threat of Uche Aquara going forward on the break. And we just saw him come out then and collect it, but in a 50-50 situation, he is going to have to be perfect tonight.
One to put in the memory bank as we see a long diagonal ball here. And Mindil too aggressive in challenging for it. Edwards was fouled. And so Theodorakopoulos will take his time, survey the options here. It has been a brisk 27 minutes, and that feeling of a big game and a big occasion for both teams, living up to it so far with attacking football. Right now, Mindil are going back to their keeper to reset. Driven over the right side, Ludvigsen with it all to do, and the goal scorer, Ajeke, is able to keep it away from him. You can hear the crowd trying to lift Mindil as they're in attack. Not for long, though, giving the ball away at this throw. Oh, it's a great pass. And releasing Jolamal, who's got some real straight line speed, but he wants to bend across here. And he put it right into the airspace of the keeper. Kwakanen. McDowell knew exactly where Taiki Kudo was, the ageless wonder, 43 years old. And now the ball over to the right, Ludvigsen. It's down in the corner being stood up by Kelvin Mapendere. And it is yet another corner. Who is the obvious aerial target, though, at a corner for Mindil, John?
Look, Charles Ariku has been rising fantastically well and winning a lot of corners in the air. He's just, timing has been a little bit off, but you suspect he's the one they're going to aim at. It's an interesting one because they don't put Kwakanen in there, who's such a big unit. You'd think he'd be in the box, but he sort of stands at the edge of it.
Short corner. Defensive header, a good one from Peter Raditis. McDowell almost won the ball back to his team's advantage, not quite. And away comes Arbabor. The attempting pass to release didn't quite work, but it falls at blue feet. And now Paredes. He's got some attention this time, and then it may have affected the pass as it falls to McCormick. Brian McCormick. Just steadies for Mindil. Eriku from halfway. Kind deflection. Taiki Kudo. He's got Ludvigsen in the middle. Reinberg at the edge of the box. Can he find a teammate? It's full of Azzurri shirts. He cut it back. Shot on the tight angle. Low percentage attempt. Now Quakinen tried to dance on the ball, but it was nicked off his toes. But Mindil will retain possession. Now maybe they can enjoy some time deep in their attacking end. No, air goes out of the balloon as that pass misses its target.
And two things there. That shot was absolutely on target from Kane McDowell. And just at the bottom of the screen there, Tay, you can see there's been a tyre change here for Nathaniel Paredes. He's off with the one set of boots and on with the other one. So there is a little bit of dew coming on now as the sun is set here in Darwin. But you'd think he would have had that sorted out in the warm-up. So we're 10v11 for the short term with only 10 on for Azzurri.
I wonder if that could make a difference right here. McDowell hurtling into the area. And is the referee's call, John, a foul at the edge of the box?
It most certainly is, in a very, very dangerous area. There's some very good set-piece takers within this team for Mindil Aces, but you suspect that Johnny Pencho will be wanting this one with the right-footed in-swinger towards the top corner.
Well, I don't think we can directly blame it on it being 10 versus 11, but let the record show that it was 10 versus 11 when they won this free kick. So, Theodorakopoulos will build a wall. 5 in it. He's called over. Eriku and Pencho, John Dean's nomination for this set piece. Who's it going to be? Looks like Johnny Pencho has pulled rank. And Kane McDowell is insisting that Charles Eriku go and take it. There you go. Wonder what the conversation is here. It's a lot of build-up. Will it be matched by execution? Uni Azzurri have opted for 4 in the wall. Eriku. Oh, it's a brilliant goal! That's why they insisted he take it. Charles Eriku has set this semi-final alight, and it's 1-1. And the ball jammed in the back of the net against the upright, holding the net in place, and maybe it had to be there given the force with which it was hit by Charles Eriku. John, we are level in style.
And that's why Kane McDowell pulled rank, as you said, and Charles took it. He's a fantastic young player. He's been down on confidence the last few weeks, but he played brilliantly in more of a defensive role in that under-19s grand final where the Mindil Aces toppled a much more fancied Hellenic outfit on Sunday evening. But he worked so hard on his set pieces through the off-season, through the COVID period and during this season as well. And it's fantastic to see him get his reward on a brilliant stage like this.
Well, it's just what Mindil needed. And if he is a confident player, there'd be no better way to absolutely supercharge him here for the rest of the game. And Azzurri need a response, John, because you've got to credit Mindil. They'd owned possession. They'd just started to make Azzurri feel like they were out of the action a bit. And then they capitalised by scoring from a set piece.
And going back, it was a needless set piece to give as well. Obviously it was 10v11 at the time, and that has proved to be telling, but it was a terrible free kick to give away in the space that it was given.
How long will it change the tone of the game for? Momentum swinging back and forth. You suspect the question of who can take the initiative now in big 50-50s like this. Ajeke volleying it on, but McDowell and Ajeke, they meet again. Now we've got a player down for Mindil.
Yes, Edmund McGrath went straight through Johnny Pencho there, didn't take any of the ball, and Pencho stayed down. I'm not sure if there's a free kick or if they're just checking on his safety, but I suspect that it'll be a Mindil free kick here.
Good shout, John. Mindil ball. Johnny Pencho able to retake his feet, which is the good news. Williams. How Mindil would love to go in front. A team that has been starved of success in the closing rounds of the home and away. 5-1 loss last week. 5-3 loss the week before. 5-3 again the week before that. 3-2, so 4 losses in a row. And only then against the Wooden Spoon team, you have to go back to round 14 to find the most recent success. But they're trying to take the lead here. High ball, not dealt with by the Azzurri defence. Reinberg cleared away. Paredes in the new boots. And as he accelerates, they grip in the turf, and he's all right to keep running. Taking on Williams here, and well, he got past him once, twice, and he keeps the ball. But he's run into a 1-on-2, and he got trapped and didn't have any support. A lot of effort for no payoff, unfortunately for him. Kudo being harassed and hurried, but he's able to keep his cool and play out of trouble. That's not a good ball, though, for Mindil. 50-50, and it's been won by Abermosa. Azzurri back in possession. Attempt to clip it over to the left. Not quite from McGrath. Now he challenges again. They've got numbers here, Azzurri. Jolamal. And then a real scrap in shoes, and Mindil are able to win the ball. McDowell. Allowed to drift all the way down to the edge of the attacking third here. And now to the penalty area. Still going with this run, and he wins a corner at the end of it. And that was important, that defending there from Mindil. It was scrappy stuff, John, but they just got bodies and legs in the way.
Yeah, desire, and that's what you need in this sort of game, isn't it? They were just happy to get bodies in the way. It looked as though Azzurri were going to be able to fashion a chance there, but they just kept getting a body in the road, and the team that's willing to do that more, you feel, is going to get the chocolates tonight and progress on to next week.
We've seen plenty of corners in this first half. Azzurri scoring from one. Mindil not quite so successful. They've shown us some variety, though. Short corners. Will we get a more conventional delivery here? Oh, it's another short corner hooked to the edge of the box. And then the shot deflected. Rearing up, Kwarkanen trying to control it. And in a week where handball has been all the rage in professional football around the world, we have a common sense decision here and no protesting from the players, which is what we like to see. Azzurri building. Aquara turned right into traffic, but he gets a second bite at the cherry here. And he plays it to Paredes. Still got the right flank to himself. Teasing ball. And Arlo Race had to be out. Able to dive on it before any of the Azzurri players could make a play. Eriku. Sweeping pass. Ludvigsen. He's one-on-one if he can reach the ball. And he's taken out the keeper. Theodorakopoulos had ventured out of his penalty area, and it's drawn the first card of the night. Tavian Ludvigsen at full stretch goes in the book for wiping out the opposition keeper.
And that's not something that's in the Welshman's game, Teo. Obviously he's gone to ground there with the slide, but hopefully Theodorakopoulos is okay. But Tavian is so unflappable on the pitch. He hasn't got a malicious bone in his body.
Oh, I'm pretty comfortable with the foul. It was a football challenge. It's not like his thoughts were of the keeper. His thoughts were of the ball. And obviously the keeper's just going to go for the ball and sacrifice the body, and that's exactly what he's done. And I think the yellow card is the cost of doing business there.
Yeah, I completely agree. And Theodore Akopoulos nearly played himself into trouble. He started to come and then he hesitated. And usually when you hesitate, you're dead in this game. But he was able to recover, get out there and obviously win the challenge marginally before Ludvigsen. But had he committed earlier to the run the first time before he hesitated, he would have got there very easily and cleared that ball away before Ludvigsen was anywhere near him.
Now, I've got to say, he certainly looks the part to have the matching boots to the fuchsia uniform as well, the keeper tonight. He certainly won't want to leave this game because he's come ripe and ready for finals, hasn't he?
He is a very fashionable man, Angelo Theodorakopoulos, and he'll love the fact that you've brought it up.
Well, equally important is his ability to keep goal, and you hope that the magic spray will have done its work here and he won't be inhibited for too much longer. And that's going to take us into the final 5 minutes of what has been one of the more entertaining first halves of the season. It may not have been as goal-filled as many of them, but there's a real competitive balance.
There certainly is. And look, this is already testing the keeping stocks of University of Azzurri. As you'll recall, they'd gone to Georgiou as their first choice keeper for the back half of the season. And in the warm-up last week before the last round game, he actually dislocated a finger and so had to pull out in the warm-up. And as I said in the call, only in Darwin could you have a reserve keeper get to a ground when he wasn't already there. And that's how Theodorakopoulos got his start.
And now he's going to have to be called upon to keep here. Eriku, tight angle, ran out of real estate. He was almost going a bit too quickly down that right flank. And it's almost at the point where Azzurri have become comfortable defending these corners. For whatever reason, Mindil are continuing to hook them short. They don't want to just play the high ball into the penalty area. Whether it's been cleared off the near post or cleared from the short cutback, let's see if they mix it up here a little bit. And again, attacking the near post, Ludvigsen flew, deflects through the box. Edwards didn't quite get his step right, but still able to win a throw for his team and calm things down a little bit. Ejeke comes across into Kwakanen, out for a goal kick. Business end of the season, as we know, John. How does the best player in the competition get awarded? Do you have a referee voted award? Do you have a media voted award? How does it all work in the Northern Territory?
Yeah, so there's two. There's one that's voted by the referees each week where they give their 3-2-1s. And there's also a regular award on a monthly basis given by our football director, technical director, I should say, Jonathan Tambouris. So he's given that out. Uche Aquara, quite rightly so, won last month's award. But it'll be interesting to see who gets the player of the season because there's been some absolute standouts. And I'm sure many of those will be picked now, Northern Knights representative squad, when that's announced in the very near future.
Some of the candidates perhaps playing in this very game: Aquara, square ball, Eriku, Reinberg. Will we get a team in front at the break? If it is going to be one, it may be Mindil based on the way general play has gone for the last 15 minutes or so. They scored in the 32nd minute. So we've had parity restored for 10. Kudo, Eriku and Ludvigsen combined. And defended sternly by Mapindere, level with the penalty area. 2 minutes plus stoppage until the break. These two teams separated by just the 1 point at the end of the home and away season. Both had slim goal difference as well, given that they did finish second and third. Mindil were only +3 in the end, Azzurri +5. Speaks to the evenness of the competition, really. As we see, Ludvigsen took the ball off the heels of Ejeke there, and I think he did so illegally, according to the referee.
Yes, absolutely right there. And the goal difference you speak about, you know, Mindil won so many tight games in that run early on in the season. But as you say, they were quite leaky at the back through the back end of the year, particularly when they didn't have their full 11 available. So it's unsurprising that their goal difference was not as large as, say, Hellenics, which was obviously getting up towards plus 50.
Last minute of regulation then. Azzurri's attacking prowess has just taken a bit of a spell in this game. They're not creating. Maybe they need the halftime break.
Yeah, it'll get here very quickly. There's only going to be the one additional minute after the regulation 45.
And so we wait for Arlo Race to restart for Mindil. Skies it out to the right. Eriku challenging against Mapindere. And after the ball is retrieved, we tick into the 60 seconds of stoppage. Ludvigsen trying to fashion one last chance. Volleyed clear. Quakinen. Still time for Mindil if they're good enough. Edwards cuts out that pass. Williams. Reinberg. Quakinen. And volleyed away off the shin this time. Pencho's pass intercepted. Trying to backtrack and win it again. Azzurri will have to be lightning quick here if they want to take the lead into halftime. And yet a chance will present itself. And Race is able to bat it down and then chase onto the path of the ball. Stop it being followed in. And a great first half. Superb entertainment. And teams that have played in just 2 and 1 draws respectively in the 20 home and away games find themselves level at the break here. 1-1 between Mindil Aces and Uni Azzurri at halftime. And as you saw on your screens, this match is brought to you by Pilot. Pilot is the most convenient way to deal with common men's health problems. Men in Australia aren't known for going to the doctor, and doctor's trips can be awkward and time-consuming. Pilot fixes that problem by bringing the doctor to you via the internet. Prescription treatments for hair loss and other common issues, and free delivery. Scan the QR code that's appearing on your screen throughout the broadcast to find out more. That's Pilot. All right, off to the halftime break. We'll be back with live action soon. Welcome back to live pictures from the Darwin Football Stadium. As you would have seen, both teams so eager to resume this semi-final. They beat the referee back out onto the pitch by a couple of minutes. But now we have the full complement, players and referees ready to resume. And the game delicately poised at 1-1. Mindil scoring through Charles Eriku in the 32nd minute, cancelling out the 24th minute header from Tega Ajeke. And now in the second half, it'll be Uni Azzurri attacking the left of your screens, seeking a spot in the grand final. Mindil going to the right. Who will it be? The winner of tomorrow's semi-final between Hellenic and Casuarina will join them, but for now, we need to find a winner between Mindil and Uni Azzurri. And Azzurri in possession through Kelvin Mapindere here at the start of the second half. Able to lose a bit of midfield attention and go on a bustling run. Turns it over to the goal scorer for Mindil, Eriku. Now Taiki Kudo to Christopher Reinberg. And I welcome John Dean back to the broadcast. And John, half-time for everyone to take a deep breath, but which direction does the game now go in the second 45?
I think it's going to be more of the same, and certainly from the kickoff, there's been no changes by either coach at half-time, but expected to be another midfield battle and trying to get a fast, high-tempo game going at the first 15 minutes. As both coaches had the message of to try and get the ascendancy, so it's going to be a bit of fighting fire with fire, you suspect, here early.
McGrath plays it to Cholomal, and the ball deflects out for a throw. Throw in by Mapindere. Possible handball there from Amosa, but play allowed to continue. Ludvigsen, only player on the pitch on a yellow card from the first half. So he's the only one that's got to watch his step in the short term. As we see a potential Azzurri attack cleared for a throw on the right.
Just for those counting at home in terms of yellow cards, the suspensions reset once we get to finals. So for those that were walking the yellow card tightrope, and there was a couple in both sides, they've all been reset. They're back to 0 for finals.
And it means they'll only miss the final if they get sent off tonight, rather than simply a yellow. Real scrap for the ball on the right side of the area, eventually cleared. Ludvigsen trying to fend off Edwards and go, but he's deciding to turn back and use some midfield bolstering, and now Kwarkanen trying to feed it onto McDowell. Reinberg backtracking. Mifsud sweeps it over to the right side of defence, and Johnny Pencho. McDowell. Hasn't quite been the dynamic presence that we've seen in some games this year, Kane McDowell. He can run box to box so powerfully. Maybe we'll see more of that as others tire and the game goes on. On the ball here again, just nodding it over to Taiki Kudo. Eriku, the goal scorer, from a free kick. And he's unable to construct something in open play here, bundled off the ball by Mapindere.
It's a really astute comment you make about Kane McDowell. Obviously, with the ankle injury that's kept him out for the last 3 weeks, he wouldn't have been able to do too much running. So I am actually thinking he's trying to pace his effort through here so that he can help his side for as long as he can. But I don't expect the box-to-box running that is a trademark of his game, as he's certainly underdone coming into tonight.
Well, it will be a big question of, as you say, pacing oneself, and the prospect of extra time does loom over this game as long as it remains level or the odd goal the difference. I did mention in the first half, Azzurri have played just one drawn game in 20 this season. Mindil, 2 out of 20 finished level after 90 minutes. So they have been significant rarities through the course of the home and away season. As we see an up and under header here, Ajeke from almost the very spot he scored from in the first half, now doing the defensive work to clear. Paredes. Jolamal. Stacks on the mill, but Paredes came through and booted the ball away to follow up. And now good strength shown by Aquara to Jolamal. And Jolamal is able to fashion an opening, but not to his or anyone's advantage, blazing through the penalty area and out at the end.
Just unable to get his body position right to get a good cross all shot there, Jolamal, but dangerous foreplay there from the Azzurri players, able to get the ball on the ground into the penalty area. You talked before about goals, though, Teo, and that's perhaps symptomatic of this league. There hasn't been a nil or draw all season. Obviously, there's not going to be one tonight, but it's attack first and defence second. It'll be interesting to see if that changes, given what's at stake tonight, if it continues 1-1 as we...
Couple of throw-ins, and Azzurri working their way down the left side. Napandere. Hit from the center of defense. Down. Game has just hit a little bit of a lull here, John, with a series of throw-ins and clearances.
It certainly has. As I said, it's cagey, not quite the all-action start of the second half that we expected. Both coaches were certainly firing their sides up at half-time, but it's only early days. We saw this in the first half. That sort of 5th to 15-minute period was really frantic, and back the same as players will be told, give me 10 more minutes, and then they'll start to roll the subs here by the hour mark.
Series of headers from the goal kick. Amosa. And cleared immediately. All Azzurri though, Theodorakopoulos, he took a knock to the foot in that first half. Treatment on the scene, magic spray. Remaining in goal. Ludvigsen back to goal. Quakinen. Mifsud waiting to take. Driving it long. Tumbling on and cleared away. And it's going to run for Williams to clear. Ludvigsen can't keep it in.
It's a rough call there, Teo, on Kane McDowell. He's just flicked the ball over to his own advantage, and Anwar Ababor looked very low to the ground. He's got a high foot there on the captain McDowell.
Arbabor is going to walk that back towards the halfway line. It's a middle distance to long range free kick here. It's going to take a good delivery to end in something meaningful, and so he just sprays it wide and sets his teammate a task instead. Reditis. Now the cross comes, knocked away by McCormick to McDowell, the man who gave away the free kick. And Eriku working from very deep in defence though. Ludvigsen, he's got it all to do, and Ajeke comes across and cuts off the angle and puts the ball out for a throw.
Ajeke showing all his skill and experience with his positioning there. He's not the quickest on the field, but he's very, very fast over those first 3 steps, and that combined with his positioning enabled him to win that ball off Ludvigsen there for what was a very dangerous attack for Mindil.
Almost 11 of the second half ticked by. Paredes. No real joy down the flank. Long ball, and the whistle goes.
Charles,
who's going to take the initiative here? John, who's going to take the initiative here and wrestle this game out of the lull that we're currently in?
Yeah, it's really ebbed and flowed in terms of that too, hasn't it? Mindil falling back into that habit of the long ball over the top. That was one for Ariku to chase. He was just offside. Probably pretty lucky to escape without a yellow card too, because he kicked that ball at goal a long time after the whistle was blown. So I think he's just been given his last warning by Ryan Prescott, the central referee. But you feel as though Azzurri are just playing a little bit more football at the moment. If they can keep those balls in defeat and their substitutes will come on and make a difference, that they're probably more likely to go ahead here.
Push here, signalled by the referee for this free kick. Is it shooting range, John?
Reditis and Jolamel will both fancy this. I suspect it'll be Jolamel that takes it, and then after we rule out our first substitution with Daxa Masai coming on. I'll talk you through that just after the free kick.
So Jolamal off the short run up, Reditis off something a bit longer, 3 in the wall. You can hear the crowd trying to start the slow clap even for Azzurri here. We've already seen one great free kick tonight. Are we about to see another? Yes, we are! Tomianis Jolamal has put Uni Azzurri in front, and he's done so in style. And that's what it means to the fans here in the grandstand.
You cannot put it any more in the top bins than that, Teo. It never looked like going anywhere, but Arlo Race was beaten all ends up. It was a fantastic finish and nestled itself in the absolute top corner of that net. And didn't he love it too? Came back and gave it to the crowd. And there'll be a substitution here with Edmund McGrath, the number 9, coming off, and Daxon Masai, who's been operating more exclusively as a left back, coming on at that left forward position here as Azzurri have taken a 2-1 lead almost right on the hour mark.
Well, the crowd could sense something there, John Dean, and they knew that there was going to be a shot on goal and it was going to have to be a good one, but it delivered well and truly.
Certainly has. He saw Charles Ariku's in the first half, which was a very good free kick in its own right, but that was better. As I said, perfectly struck. Keeper had no chance. Saw there, Jolomel's just got himself in the book for needlessly kicking the ball away after he scuffed the attempted cross back, and I suspect that's probably after everybody's had their last warning from Charles Ariku kicking the ball away, but unnecessarily on a yellow now. Jolomel has got a goal and a yellow ticket to go with it. There's some concern here over Nathaniel Paredes. He's down on the floor, and Ryan Prescott going to see if he's okay. No trainer required. He'll hook to his feet and we'll get on with play here. That's a Mindil throw on the Northwest scoreboard side of the field. Long throw, won by Radidas to Paredes. He puts a ball forward to Chris Aquara. Aquara streaking into the box, but his touch is too heavy and it's cleaned up by Arlo Race. Oh, so close. That could have been 3-1 had Aquara not had a heavy touch. And Mindil will look to break now down the left-hand side as Quarkinen releases Kane McDowell through to Reinberg and back to the man that started the play in Quarkinen. They'll look to switch this ball across to Tavian Ludwigsen to the right-hand side and Charles Ariku. Ariku drops the shoulder, gets the ball at his feet, and he's won his team a free kick. Tavian Ludwigsen further up the pitch. So this is Christopher Reinberg's sort of range here. Matthew Miffs will fancy it as well, but you suspect that Reinberg will be the one on it. He's delivered some fantastic set pieces so far from Mindil this season. And the beauty of that is it allows Kane McDowell to get in the box, allows Ludwigsen and Ariku all to be there. 3 targets to aim for if this is not a shot, but perhaps following it in because Theodore Akopoulos has spilled his volley tonight.
Thank you, John Dean, for carrying the can as the internet in Victoria decides to do some interesting things. So, do we have another free kick special coming here? This one is just lifted to the edge of the box, headed across, and then volleyed clear. It was trying to find Ludwigsen from Ariku, and instead it is cleared away. Now Daxon Masai, the sub, the fresh legs, trying to drive end to end. And he's chased down by Kane McDowell, but the ball is left behind Masai. The 360 spin. Now the cross from the right, and, well, anticlimactic as it's lifted out to no one in particular. The game's gone up a notch, though, hasn't it, John?
It certainly has. The goal was what this game needed, and we've got it. And you still feel like it's Azzurri that's putting more pressure on than Mindil, and that was most uncharacteristic from Nathaniel Paredes there. He's put such good crosses in that have been low and along the ground for Chris Aquara to hit in this season, and as I said, uncharacteristically scuffed that one into the air, but that won't be the last time he puts the ball in. And if he gets it on the deck, you suspect that Aquara is going to hit the back of the old onion bag.
Jolamal, Masai left it. Mapindere sweeping through on the overlap. Oh, and he's kept it at his feet. And swinging across the box. Hopeful ball back in. Oh, nearly made it over 3 Mindil players. Still Azzurri's ball though. Oh, and it's been cleared desperately by the Mindil defence. Had the lunging player in on the line. It feels like they're holding on for dear life here, Mindil. It's only the 65th minute, but it has a last 5 minutes feel to it here. Such is the desperation. Attempted through ball. And the clearance is going to find Charles Eriku. Quakinen, McDowell, and Ajeke committed. Another attempted long ball, Mindil. They've just got to stand tall here, John. It feels like they need to really make a big effort to prevent going 2 goals behind here and keep themselves in with a shout.
Yeah, just with this couple of minutes here, Azzurri have got the goal, they've got their tails up, and they can smell blood in the water. If Mindil can weather this storm, they can perhaps come out the other side. But there's a few of those players, as I said, have had 3 or 4 weeks off, and they're struggling to go with the pace of this year. So Azzurri will do well to keep it up. And if Mindil can weather the storm, then they're absolutely every chance of getting back in this game and going on ahead.
Eriku. Kudo. Mifsud venturing forward for the first time, really. Signifying the importance of this current exchange. Feels like it's a big, big flashpoint in the game.
It certainly is, and Dan McCormack's just sent his subs to go and warm up. He can sense that his team are under pressure here and he needs to get some fresh legs out there to help weather this storm. So I'd be surprised if he doesn't go to his bench in the next 2 or 3 minutes as we get towards 70, Teo.
And again, all they're chasing at the moment is an equaliser, the chance to buy 30 more minutes of their season. Bit of holding going on, but the referee not interested.
Yes, Daxton Masai is a master of the dark arts.
Clipped to the edge of the box. Mindil trying to bring a bouncing ball under control. Quakinen. Eriku's in behind. Can he find a teammate with a cutback? And well defended by Raditas. Kept it away from Ludvigsen, and the referee's whistling now. It went... Is that offside or a goal kick, John?
Yeah, it's offside. So Charles Eriku cut the ball back to Tavian Ludvigsen. When he got the touch on it and went back, Eriku was actually off the field of play, came back onto the field of play to get that ball, and so the judge took it offside. So Theodore Akropoulos will get us back underway.
Well, it was a promising build-up. Got in behind. Couldn't find Ludvigsen, but Mindil, a bit like the first half, starting to take over general play. Uni Azzurri, they had their moments to try and take a 3-1 lead. This could be another one. And are they going to get a corner or a goal kick? It is a goal kick, well judged by the defender at the byline. Quakinen, the tempo of the game remains high. Bouncing ball there to be won. Quakinen against Masai, able to turn away, find space on the left. Williams, Ludvigsen just reached out the right foot and took control of the ball, but then it's defended well. Ejeke keeps it moving. Masai. Paredes on the right side. Sweeping high cross shot. Trying for the element of surprise perhaps, and he's sailed it out for a goal kick.
Let me tell you, that was very, very close. Much and Arlo races thanking his lucky stars that it went on the outside of the post rather than the inside, because he'd come out there to try and smother Chris Aquara, and Nathaniel Paredes saw him off his line and tried the cheeky very.
Battle for possession. Quakinen against Paredes. Players reffing themselves. They all stopped. Action continues. 20 minutes to go. In regulation, Mindil need an equaliser to save their season. Azzurri have 1 foot in the grand final. Pencho challenging. Now McDowell. Beaten to the ball by Amosa, but he goes back in and wins it. And then skips around another challenge. Well played, Kane McDowell. But Kudo let the ball run away from him. The hard work is undone. Not for long. Quakinen from the middle and too narrow as it finds its way down to the goalkeeper. Theodore Akopoulos, who is taking his time over the ball. Slip in midfield. Could be an opening for Mindil here. Eriku. Poor touch. Really struggled to bring the ball under control and eventually was able to move it to a teammate. High, hopeful ball and keeper's ball in the end.
I'll take the opportunity to let you know, Tay, that at the next out, we're going to see a triple substitution by Mindil Aces there. McCormack taking the dice and rolling them, so to speak, as they chase off us an equaliser here with 20 to go.
Well, triple sub has the real potential to disrupt a team. Never mind disrupt the pattern of the game. We'll have to see if it works. Masai, in the meantime, trying to make it a 2-goal buffer. Challenging Johnny Pencho. And not giving him a quarter here. I think he's resigned himself to committing the foul at some point during that exchange. And Pencho engages in the gamesmanship.
Yes, he's an easy target, Johnny Pencho, because he's got a very short fuse. And as I said, Daxa Masai is a master of dark arts, and he's got him hook, line and sinker there. They'll get the free kick, Mindil. They're holding on the substitution for now.
Got to say, for a moment there, John, I thought that Johnny Pencho wasn't taking the bait at all, but then right at the last, he decided, yeah, I'm going to kick the ball into you. You've done enough to annoy me. Arbor loses out to Kudo. Ludvigsen beaten to the ball by Ejeke. Ludvigsen again, clever, into the path of Quakinen. Can he get the shot away? Oh, yes he can! Mario Quakinen makes it 2-2. And finals football is turning it up a notch in Football NT. My goodness, what a good goal.
Stum finish from Quakinen. Just made some space for himself. You thought that Charles Ariku had nearly got in the way there for the Estonian, but he created a little bit more room for himself on the left foot. Hit it sweetly, and it was sailing into the top corner, never going anywhere else. And just like that, it's 2-2. But you know, they're right back in it now, Mindil. But as I said, the substitutions are coming, and it's an interesting one because players coming on Tanu will be one of them, assuming they haven't made any changes to what they're doing. But the others were Will Reeve and Zach Kirby, who were both noted central defenders. Different story now, obviously, at 2-all, but it's unusual to bring two central defenders on when you're chasing a game. So Pencho is the man coming off for Tanu to go on, and he'll separate himself into right back. And Zach Kirby is going on for Brian McCormack, and that'll be a straight swap into centre half. And the third substitution has just been told to cool his jets, and we'll only have two at this point as it's 2-all.
Well, interesting changes. John Dean talking us through them. But John, what about the strike from Quackinen? He'd been agitating for that long shot all night, and the ball just didn't sit for him at times, or too many defenders in his way, closing him down. That time, everything set up perfectly, and he unleashed. And now Azzurri trying for the instant response to retake the lead, and that's a good save from Arlo Race to bat it away and keep the score at 2-2.
Action at both ends. But yeah, in terms of Mario Quackinen, he sat here on the pitch with Coach Daniel McCormack for a solid 25-30 minutes after the defeat to Port Darwin last week, just dissecting everything. He's a really astute footballer, and you can see he's wanted to make an impact in this competition, and in particular tonight, and he couldn't have done it in a better fashion there, getting his team right back into this one.
Nicked on again for Azzurri. Amosa. And now a scuffed shot from Aquara, and it is only a goal kick. No touch to take it out for a corner. And the pendulum has swung again. At times it's been all Azzurri. At times it's been all Mindil. We have been thoroughly entertained regardless of which way this game has gone, and now who knows who is going to win it from here. Amosa. Jolamal. His goal now has some competition as the best of the night. Paredes. And too shallow for Jolamal to attack it. Azzurri have owned the ball since the equaliser. They won't mind that. Denying Mindil the chance to play with the adrenaline pumping through them. Aquara just reached out his long legs and brought the ball into his control. Well played. Flag stays down for Paredes. And it sets up, great chance for Mapindere, and at an awkward height for him, he tried to hip it in without swinging his arm at the ball. Thierry Henry style.
Yeah, it was actually a little bit more chest. He sort of went a bit more Ryan Grant, to be honest with you. But Stone nearly put his team in front there, and obviously we average 4 goals a game here in this Darwin Men's Premier League, but you don't normally get 3 of them that are absolutely top draw. We've seen 2 sensational free kicks, and Quackinen's goal there, certainly top draw. If we get anything more like that to settle this one, then we'll all go home very happy, regardless of who's on top.
And there must be a winner tonight, and I'm sure both teams will be acutely aware of that, because they will continue to attack. It is an attack-first league, defence and afterthought. That's the way we like football being played. Kudo. Quackinen, is there more on the way? Not this time. Reinberg. Taiki Kudo again. And a bit of backspin on the ball. We'll see it hold up here. Quackinen, decision time. Where does he go? Dispossessed. Daxon Masai, and coming across to be put out for a throw. Tanu to take this throw. McDowell. and difficult for U. But Kirby is there. Oh, and the ball broke the wrong way for Reinberg. For half a second there, it looked like it might have sat up nicely for him to run onto, but not to be.
Yeah, Zach Kirby has a nice range in his passing. Likes to play at 6 more so than centre half. I think he's found his home there, and you can see that one there just a little bit off with the radar, but could have released Reinberg, who had some wheels and would have been difficult to stop getting a shot on from there.
Azzurri built through the right. Aquara against Kirby. The sub has adjusted immediately to the pace of the game. Important when you're playing at the centre of defence. And have we got another sub coming up here, John?
No. Just waiting for Dean Edwards to come all the way from down the back to take this throw. He doesn't have a long throw, so it must just be positional.
Attempted cross, deflected away. Amosa just stutter stepping and waiting for the right pass, didn't see it. Now Edwards from deep. Oh, it's an unmarked header across the face. Aquara, the instincts not there on that occasion to turn it goalward.
Oh, I think Aquara, like everybody else, expected Dolomel to hit that. He was unmarked at the back post, and you know the form he's in, you said he's going to get that on target. Put it back across to Aquara, and unfortunately Chris was on his heels.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree with you more. I was surprised as well that he chose to square it up rather than have a go. So a free kick. Mapindere to take. He's going to lift it right into a pack of players. Ludvigsen won the header for Mindil. Eriku trying to skip away. Oh, that's a cynical foul. And surely a booking to accompany it.
Yeah, most certainly he's in the book for that. He's got a ticket, but it's just silly stuff from Mapindere, and preventing the quick free kickbacks in the thigh. He's got himself in the book as well. So that's 2 yellow tickets in the space of 10 seconds. But, you know, as we go on, we've only got 10 minutes left in regulation, or just under, but then extra time. The whole right-hand side now for Azzurri is walking that tightrope against a very, very dangerous Charles Ariku, who, as I said before, is a confidence player and still has his confidence up from that goal earlier. It's just silly stuff from Azzurri.
I think particularly silly, John, is the yellow for Dax and Masai. I think that the way he plays the game, you don't want to voluntarily put yourself on a yellow card.
Couldn't agree with you more. He walks a very fine line, and playing on a yellow is not where he wants to be.
We'll see if it comes back to bite him or if he can live with that booking to his name harmoniously enough to stay on the pitch. Masai. And then from the left back corner, Azzurri. Got to be careful here. They don't want to muck around too much. Theodorakopoulos, of course, suffering that foot injury in the first half. Oh, the attempted overhead kick in the defensive half from Eriku. He won't want this to end up in the back of the net. It'll be a spectacular highlight. And it is cleared away by his keeper. And he tries to go for the overhead kick again. So Charles Eriku here has taken up gymnastics at this late stage of the night. Or maybe 10-metre springboard. Anyway, the ball's back on the deck. And it's out for a throw.
As you see here, Jolimal is starting to cramp up, and if he's unable to recover from this, then you'd suspect that it's probably going to be Felicio Gutierrez, who is a very good number 9 in his own right, coming on to lead the line, and then Uche Aquara moving out to that left wing position. So we'll see how that goes as we enter into the last 5 minutes, potentially plus another 30.
And what about Anthony Delembo as well, John? If there's an extra 30 minutes, is that perhaps why, with the scores being level, we haven't seen him brought on?
I think you're exactly right there. If they do nick a goal and the game needs to be shorn up, then he'll be brought on. But no sooner have you said that, and we'll see it change the other way. Kane McDowell's night is done. I said I didn't think he'd run out the 90, and he will be replaced by William Reeve, who will be coming on. As I said, more noted as a central defender, that David Ludvigsen will take the armband. And it'll be interesting to see how this shapes up, whether it's that Kirby that'll push forward, whether it's Matthew Mifsud that'll push forward, or if Kirby himself will actually move into the midfield. And it looks as though, Reeve will move into the midfield. It looks as though it's Reeve who will play further from the middle at this point.
So the Mindil patchwork of players that have been injured and limited in their minutes. They continue to find a way, though, and they may yet win it here. Charles Eriku cutting it across. Unmarked shot! Quackinen denied. And that would have been 3-2 in hero status for Mario Quackinen. But he shot it straight at the keeper. And now end-to-end. Daxon Masai. And the cross is intercepted. Amosa, Jolimal, he's shaken off the cramps. He's got a cross in. And it's not going to go out for a corner. Taiki Kudo refuses to give up possession. Persistence from the ageless wonder. And now Ludvigsen and John. Mindil must think that they should be 3-2 up.
Oh, it was a fantastic save in the end to deny Mario Quackinen the go-ahead goal there. But what about Will Reeve? He only overrun it by half a step. Well, it inspired first touch that would have been had he been able to get his foot and put it in the back of the net, because I don't think that Theodore Akopoulos would have got anywhere near his shot if he was able to get to it.
So Mindil with the signature chance to win it at the end of the night. We've still got 3 minutes plus stoppage time to go, though, to avoid having to go to extra time. Semi-final, no tomorrow for the loser. It has delivered in spades, and we may yet get 30 extra minutes of it. Quackinen, how quick? Oh, he's put the ball out because he's got an injured teammate here, John.
That's absolutely right. He's just been told to put that out there. David Ludvigsen got a little knock on the way through with it, but he's been recovering from an injury. Not an ankle, it's a hamstring he's been recovering from, but he's just picked up a little knock on the way through. He's been down for the last 30 seconds or so. And whilst that's happening, Azzurri will take the opportunity to make the substitution I spoke about earlier. It will be Felicio Gutierrez that's coming on, wearing number 12 tonight. And it'll be Jolimal that will be coming off. And as I said, I expect he will go into 9 and Aquara will move out wide, but we'll see how that plays out.
So he made a great contribution to the game, Jomianis Jolimal. His goal, he might have thought it was good enough to win the game up until the 74th minute when Mario Quackinen made it 2-2. And so now we are no closer to deciding a winner as he leaves the scene. And I assume, John, this means that they want to revive Ludvigsen and leave him on.
Yeah, most certainly. The players that they've got left on the substitutes bench not offering the same in that number 9 role as what he does. You suspect if he does go off the pitch that probably Reinberg will move more centrally up top, and then young Kelly would come on. Kudra may come on out wide. He wouldn't operate as a 9. Levi Windman's a wide player. He's still on the bench to potentially come on. So, there's not really a noted 9. They'll want to keep Ludvigsen on for as long as possible. He's also just the spirited leader of the team, particularly with Kane McDowell off the pitch. He's the heartbeat of the team. So, as much as Quackinen and Kudo were so important, goal and want Livingston out there as long as he possibly can.
And we're into the last minute of regulation as Daxon Masai returns the ball to Mindil. Do we get a late winner? A spot in the grand final is on the line. Or do we need 30 more minutes to decide? Quakinen.
10 v 11. 10 v 11 at the moment. Sorry, Teo, as Ludwig flew off the pitch.
Well, Mindil have at least got possession. Who knows? Could they even score with 10? Eriku persisting and committing a foul. Kelvin Mapindere winning the free kick. Into stoppage then, as the fourth official shown the board, John.
No, he's about to. We'll get a substitute first. It'll be 4 minutes that goes up on the board. But you'll see that Tavian Ludwig has just been pointed to stay off on the other side of the pitch that he's just come back on from. And it'll be Levi Windman that comes on in number 16. As I said, I expect Windman will operate more as a wide player. So we'll see who goes up and leads the line for Mindil. If it is Windman, I'll be surprised.
So Windman on for Ludvigsen, a sub that they didn't want to have to make. But Tavian Ludvigsen's cramps have put an end to his night. Ludvigsen, who scored 4 goals across the 4 home and away games against Uni Azzurri this season, but couldn't find the back of the net tonight. Now it's Azzurri's turn to go in search of a late winner, Amosa. Crowd really getting into it, but the passing move couldn't match their enthusiasm. Quakinen, Eriku. Oh, it looks like it could be an injury. Straight. Oh, Reinberg, is it cramp or an injury, John? Call it here.
I'm going to go with cramp. He just looked like he pulled up not lame enough for it to be a hamstring, to be honest with you.
So that's going to tick even deeper into the 4 minutes of stoppage. Means the referee will probably have to use his discretion here to work out exactly how long we have to go. Down to the corner. Mindil have finished the stronger, John, even though they're the ones that are the walking wounded at the moment. I mean, you'd suggest that extra time would be advantage Azzurri, but they're not exactly playing like it at the moment.
No. I mean, on the balance, they've probably just shaded it, but I think 2-all is a very fair result. Azzurri I'm talking about. But, you know, Mindil certainly have weathered the storm and they've come back strongly in the last 5 or 10 minutes. And certainly Charles Ariku's looked very, very lively. And you know, if this goes to an extra 30 minutes, I suspect that he's going to be the man most likely to get the ball and create an opportunity or bury the winner himself.
I think the real red alert for Mindil will be that first 2 or 3 minutes of extra time. If Azzurri were to just refocus and score early, you'd fancy it to be one-way traffic. But for now, Mindil still dream of winning it without the need to go beyond the 90. They've won the ball back. Quakinen, has he got one more shot in him? Tried to go for the back heel instead. Pushed over, but no foul. Daxon Masai running away with the ball. And now the clearance. Eriku can't control it. Depending on how generous the referee feels, we've only got 20 seconds to go. Uni Azzurri played in just 1 draw in 20 home and away games, and yet when it matters as much as any game in the season, they are set to be held 2-2 here tonight. Mindil only played in 2 draws in their 20-game home and away season.
And we'll remind all the viewers at home, watching wherever you are around the country, around the world, that you called this before kickoff, Teo?
Well, they were due. So we're beyond the 4 minutes now. We've had a cramp in extra time. We've had a sub in stoppage time. So we might get one more phase of play depending on how the ball breaks from this goal kick. 1-1 at halftime, 2-2 deep in stoppage time. Hellenic versus Casuarina tomorrow. If you've enjoyed it tonight, we come back and we do it all again tomorrow. Volleyed clearance. One last hurrah, perhaps. Will it sit up kindly here? Well, it needed a lob, but a lob far more accurate than that. And Gutierrez puts it out for a goal kick. Of course, one of the subs that's going to have such an important role with fresher legs as we get ready for 30 more minutes of football. Full time, but extra time beckons. Mindil Aces 2, Uni Azzurri 2. And don't forget, tonight's broadcast brought to you by Pilot. Pilot is the most convenient way to deal with common men's health problems. Men in Australia aren't known for going to the doctor. Doctor's trips can be awkward and time-consuming, but Pilot fixes that problem by bringing the doctor to you via the internet. Prescription treatment for hair loss and other common issues, and free delivery. Scan the QR code to find out more. That's Pilot. All right, there's going to be a few minutes here, John. I suspect they won't be too strict on turning the two teams around, so give me your thoughts on full time, your man of the match through 90 minutes, and what you're expecting now in the extras.
Yeah, you're right. They're giving them a couple of minutes here. It'll be nearly 5 minutes before the teams go back out there, but they will be very strict on turning them straight around at the end of the first 15-minute period. We'll shortly see the two captains, Peter Adidas for University of Azzurri, and it's Matthew Mifsud wearing the armband after Kay McDowell and David Livingston have both gone off. That'll be here for the toss very shortly in front of us for Mindil Aces. In terms of the 90, is you could throw a blanket over them. But for me, just sheer impact and willing you steam back into it. Mario Kwarkinen in the midfield was an absolute star tonight for Mindil. I think Azzurri were, as I said, marginally the better team across the 90 minutes, but for me, he was the man that had the biggest impact. And I think that if we're going into extra time here, if Mindil are going to win it, it's going to be on the shoulders of their number 6 and their number 7, Mario Kwarkinen and Charles Ariku. I think he's going to continue to have a great game. Kwarkinen, as I said, he's so motivated to perform here in this league and put on a show tonight. Whereas on the Azzurri side of things, I think they're obviously not carrying as many walking wounded into this. They should be in a better position. But as the game's gone on, they sort of spent all their chips to get to that 70-minute mark. And it'll be interesting to see how they come out. If it's the same attacking Azzurri that was at the start of the second half, or if nerves start to creep in and they start to play a more defensive style of game and push this one towards the pens.
And if we don't get another goal, John, who would you like in a penalty shootout based on the keepers and on the takers for both sides? I know it's 30 minutes away, but just in case, who would you fancy might want to play for penalties more than the other?
I'd much rather have Arlo race between the sticks. I love Angelo Theodorakopoulos. He's a fantastic human. I've had the opportunity to travel overseas with him as part of the National Training Centre program. But he reads the game particularly well, and he is mobile for a big man. But Arlo race is so nimble. I just feel his range is going to outdo Theodorakopoulos' experience if it comes down to the keeping side of things. In terms of who you want taking them, we've seen a number of penalties this year by key players, including one by Charles Ariku fairly recently. Obviously, Simon Bell missed one for Hellenic, not on there tonight, but it's just going to come down to nerves and who wants to step up. So I'll make a call on that if and when we get there. We have a look at the players' eyes as to who looks confident and who doesn't. But in terms of keepers, give me Arlo race.
And I'm guessing not many of the crowd have gone home.
No, nobody's moved. And I can tell you it's a big groan because the women's reserve grade semi-final that was taking place on the Saturday is coming without extra time. So everybody watching that is now fired in. I think it's off the open capacity, don't tell anyone, here in the main grandstand.
Capacity crowd, Football NT Men's Premier Division semi-final. Must be a winner tonight. One of Mindil or Azzurri must go through to the grand final. Tomorrow night, Hellenic versus Casuarina. Game kicks off at 8 p.m. in the Northern Territory, or 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So if you've tuned in tonight and enjoyed it, make sure you join us again tomorrow night for the other semi-final.
And it's a long way away. Sorry, I was going to say, it's a long way away yet. We don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. But next week, with daylight saving changing, just remember that we're going to be an hour and a half behind New South Wales and Victoria in kickoff here. So it'll be a little bit earlier for those of you tuning in next week.
I have to get out my calculator, John, in order to make sure I turn up to the grand final on time. And one of these two is going to be turning up to the grand final. It's just a question of who. Mindil fell behind Tekera Jeke's header in the 24th minute, but equalised through Charles Eriku in the 32nd. Azzurri took the lead through Jomianis Jolomal's free kick in the 59th minute, but Mario Kwakinen's long shot made it 2-2 in the 74th. Kwakinen had the best chance to win it. He had a shot from just inside the penalty area, saved in about the 85th minute. And after that, it was a nervous finish, but without another signature chance. And so it means here we are with two 15-minute halves, conventional extra time. The only noticeable difference to a full professional game, of course, is that you're allowed 5 substitutions instead of 3. And at the moment, Mindil have already made, by my calculation, 4 of the possible 5. And Azzurri have made just the 2, if I'm not mistaken, John. They've still got Alvin Dingle, Anthony Delembo, and Anthony Niakuri available to them on the bench.
Yeah, that's correct from the point of view of Azzurri, and obviously on the Mindil bench, they've still got Michael Kruger potentially ready to make his debut.
And what a debut, and what an environment it would be to get thrown into. So both teams have some subs still available to them, but we see Raditas here playing the ball back to his keeper, Theodorakopoulos. It's all about trying to strike early and strike first, and I think this is the most dangerous time here for Mindil. They do not want to concede in the first couple of minutes here of extra time, given that they're the ones who've been cramping more. They're the ones that have had an injury-hit season. They've had more players who've spent time out of the team and a lot of squad turnover. Whereas Azzurri get the feeling that if they can take the ascendancy here, they might just be able to steer the ship home in extra time. They've led twice tonight, only to be equalised twice. You wonder if Mindil would be able to go to the well for a third time. And alternatively, Mindil, who finished regulation so strongly, they need to harness a bit of that and try to take the lead for the first time in this game. And they might get a good chance here. Eriku nicked away off his toes. And now Kwakinen, who has increasingly run the game as the night's gone on. Good one too with Eriku, and the shot comes in. Oh, saved. Vital from Theodorakopoulos. And Mario Kwakinen, you've been calling it, John. If they're going to win this game, it's probably going to be off his boot. Regain once again. All over the left. And up to Winman. Running away from him, jumping up on it, Levi Winman. Open wins it back. Wonder. Now giving away. Eriku. Kwakinen, Eriku. From the right, cross. Over the head to the dancing man. Reinberg from the edge of the box. Right off the outside of the boot. Might work out here. Eriku! Oh, what a goal! Charles Eriku with his second of the night. And he has rifled that into the bottom left-hand corner, and the celebration of that. Mindil leads for the first time in this contest, and that is the perfect start to extra time. John team, Mindil take the lead.
And wasn't it an assured finish from Azzurri? Sensational technique. He's always going top page into that bottom corner. I said if Mindil were going to go anywhere tonight, it was going to be on the shoulders of Mario Clark and Azzurri. And hasn't the young man stepped up there, giving his team the lead for the first time tonight. And they'll do well to keep hold of it for the next 26 minutes.
Find a response. What a great goal, though, from Charles Ariku. And at the byline, Mifsud wrestling in defence, doing well. Oh, the nutmeg from Reinberg, full of confidence, but the pass didn't match. Paredes for the instant reply. It lifts over the bar. And John, those 2 goals tonight means Ariku goes into double figures, 10 for the season. So we wait for the goal kick here. Is there any risk that Mindil go defensive? Or do they keep attacking and try to find a 4th even?
I can't see them dropping it back now. I suspect that they'll still keep pushing the way that they've done all night. They haven't led at all today, Teo, until just now. So they'll continue to push for this 4th goal. But suspect that as we get closer and closer, the nerves will creep in and they'll start to play with 2 6s or maybe 5 at the back. But for now, it's still going to be all that attack. And Kwarkanen will look for Winman.
And double figures for Charles Ariku, John. I mean, we were speaking in the first half about how he and Ludvigsen would probably have been unsatisfied with their tallies from the home and away season, but tonight maybe a far better indicator of what Charles Ariku can do, as we have a chance here from Winman, and he drives it too close to the keeper.
Absolutely right. It's a much better indication of what Charles is capable of. You know, there's been a few times this season where he's been frustrating to watch because you know he's so much better than what he's given, but he's given a fantastic account of himself tonight, and I get the sense he's not quite finished yet.
Well, if there's more to come in terms of another equaliser in this game, we will be spoilt. We've had a really excellent contest so far. Goals of such high quality. And a seesawing contest where both teams have been on top, both teams have been under the pump. And now Mindil, who came into this semi-final on the back of a 4-game losing streak, found themselves in front and with, well, I wouldn't say an entire foot, but maybe a couple of toes in the grand final.
Yes, they sit looking through the door and they can see through it. It's far too early to say that that's the last goal we'll see in this one, particularly as fatigue starts to set in. There's a lot of players out there now that I said before were pretty good for football. It's starting to get stickier and stickier, and they're certainly feeling the intensity that was in that first half, and they're paying for it now.
Long ball. Oh, and a chance for Winman. It skimmed off his head. It needed forceful contact, though. And a little half chance, John, that goes begging.
Yeah, it certainly is. And that is begging, because unusually for Winman, he was onside there. He'd made a beautiful run, timed it fantastically, and just the technique on the header left him down.
So a breather here. 8 minutes of extra time expired. Mindil in front. Azzurri now, their turn to play for their season. What sort of resilience will they show? Out of the tussle. Well played, Gutierrez. Oh, and the cross went behind the attacker inside the 6-yard box and through the area. Ariku, 2 goals tonight. Both of them top draw. He rolls it to Taiki Kudo. Kwarkanen, his equaliser, the reason we're in extra time. And that's really smooth build-up play through the centre right, but he can't reconnect with Reinberg. And now the whistle's gone. Azzurri ball. Oh, a little bit of a window of opportunity here for Gutierrez. He's got defenders chasing him though, lifts across, away from Aquara, away from Masai, and ultimately out for a goal kick.
And it looks like Azzurri is going to be the first one to blink here in extra time, Taya. I can see Alvin Dingle getting very warm. I suspect that he'll be coming on here before the change of ends in 5 minutes' time.
Well, they need to start asking some questions of this Mindil defence. They haven't exactly put them to task in the 10 minutes of extra time so far. They need to start generating chances, shots on goal. They need to test Arlo Race. Raditas.
Yeah, they certainly do. And it's difficult because Gutierrez is playing as the 9, but then he gets sucked out wide to get the ball and then delivers it to where he should be. And if Aquara comes short, then there's nobody else to follow in at the back post where Aquara should be, if that makes sense. It's just the timing's not quite right with that interplay between the top 3 of Azzurri when they're both on the pitch at this point.
Well, is it a matter, John, of getting Paredes back out onto that wing? I mean, that's where he's looked most dangerous throughout the course of the night.
Yeah, potentially, and maybe that's what this move here will do. But at the moment, they need to utilise him in the midfield just because they can't get the limbo on. And when I say midfield, the centre of midfield, because they're obviously not confident that he's going to be able to run out the 20-odd minutes that we've got left in the way that they want it done. So, I mean, certainly I would think that Paredes is better operating on that right-hand side. But, you know, the coaches are the ones making the call, and it'll be Dingle going on for the number 3, Abe Amosa. So we'll see if that changes the look of the lineup.
Now, I just wonder, you know, are they plugging one gap when they perhaps could take the risk and look to accentuate a strength using Paredes? But we'll see if perhaps Gutierrez can find his radar on some of the crosses and they can sort it out. They haven't got long though.
They have made a change though tactically with that. Here, Chiga Ejike stepped forward and is now playing as part of that central midfield 3, and Dingle stepped into centre half where Tiga was playing. So, you know, Ejike can play anywhere along that central spine, but the more he can get on the ball, the better it's going to be for them.
Given away here by Paredes. This could be so costly. Reinberg, how's his right side? It's blocked away by the sliding challenge. Now bodies fly in. Eriku went without the ball, just tumbled over, and it's going to be a throw-in. Gee, that was a good, again, another good half chance there for Reinberg, though. He seemed apprehensive to pull the trigger on a shot.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's just the cramp coming in. You know, when you strike the ball at full tilt like that, it's going to bring on the cramp that he must have felt in his leg there, because he's not shy of shooting the young man.
High cross, it's there to be won. Winman, he got up for the header, but it didn't fall kindly for him. Fell kindly for Azzurri and said, they haven't cleared their lines. Oh, that could have gone anywhere. Lashed back into a pack of players. Now the follow-up shot from Kudo, and that one is sliced off the side of the boot and out for a goal kick. Oh, and they were dicing with danger there, Uni Azzurri. With so many players in the penalty area, could deflect anywhere, wrong foot the keeper, leave them all stranded. They get lucky, and the score remains 3-2. Mindil in front. Maybe they can dig deep and remember some of the narrow wins they've had this year, where they've had to batten down the hatches. And if anyone has played defensive football at times to get a result in this league this season, it has been Mindil. And that pass here is a good one, playing through Winman on the left. And it is cleared away by Theodorakopoulos.
You're absolutely right in what you're saying about Mindil grinding out those games. And obviously, they're a bit of a walking wounded at the moment, but generally speaking, they are the fittest team in the league. And they would be calling on that engine, a collective engine, to dig deep here in these last few minutes. And they would back themselves to finish over the top of Azzurri here. So if they can do that and get one more, then it should be a good night.
Eriku for his hat-trick. Oh, it would have capped a stunning night from him. Instead, he still gets a corner, and in the last minute of this first half of extra time, if nothing else, it should keep Mindil down their attacking end and in the lead before the change of ends. They score again here to make it 4-2. Azzurri are going to need to get a bit of a rev up at this change of ends and really drastically dig deep in the second half of extra time. Corners have not been fruitful for Mindil tonight, though. If there was ever a time to just get one perfect, it's right now. Kirby attacks the near post. That's where the corner goes. And it is just dinked out harmlessly for a goal kick.
So I don't expect any additional time to be played here in this first half of extra time. So it'll be a mere number of seconds before we see the whistle.
So change of ends, half-time and extra time, 3-2, thanks to Charles Eriku's 94th minute goal. And you can see there, Mindil, they go to the sideline with a bit of energy here, John. If you're the Azzurri coach, what do you tell your team to try and find an equaliser and take this one potentially to penalties?
They've just got to get their heads up and play football. You know, they've been the form team of the competition over the last 6 weeks, save for that, obviously, result last week against Hellenic. Play the football that's got you there. They've got so much talent in their side. They've got so much talent on the pitch. You know, that's Michael's just got to get them to believe that they can get one. And if they get one, they'll probably get a second, or if not, they go to the lottery that is penalties. But I can tell you the body language from the Mindil players is, you know, exuding confidence at the moment. They look like they're ready to go another 90 if they needed to. Meanwhile, over in the Azzurri huddle, as you can see on the screen, heads are down. There's not really a great deal of conversation going on. Tiga Ajike is trying to take control, but it's a very different huddle to what we're seeing in the black strip with the yellow socks at Mindil.
Just to recap, those Mindil results: round 18, beaten 5-1 by Port Darwin. Round 17, beaten 5-3 by Hellenic. Round 16, they were beaten 5-3 by Azzurri. Round 15, they were beaten 3-2 by Azzurri. They had not won a game since round 14, and now they are 15 minutes away from going through to the grand final after twice coming from behind. They really have resurrected their season. And that is the magic of knockout final.
And they started their season this way, Teo. They came from behind a number of times in the very first game to steal an 87th minute winner to win 4-3 in the first game of the season. And that's probably set the scene for them. They've got such fight, such determination. They're never beaten. They don't know when they're beaten. And, you know, they'll continue to fight for another 15 minutes yet. And we've seen the last substitution being played, with number 13 going on and number 16 coming, sorry, wrong way around, number 16 going on, and that's Larry Niakuru going on for Azzurri, and 13 coming off.
Dean Edwards making way. Start of the second half of extra time then. Mindil leading 3-2. Azzurri needing an equaliser to keep this game going to penalties. And of course, as you can see there, the QR code, Pilot, most convenient way to deal with Commons men health problems. Presenting tonight's broadcast, you can check the QR code to find out more about Pilot. All right, second half of extra time underway. Let's see what tactically Uni Azzurri are able to do, and if they can just raise their intensity and emotion to what's required in this occasion. Mindil, the team playing with spirit at the moment. Mapindere. Out of a 1-on-2, but the third man was able to stop the pass going any further. Reinberg hooking it on. Dingle plays it to Arbabor. And now Aquara used his strength and then his smarts to play it to himself. Edge of the box. Shot is blocked away. Ajeke. Back to Raditis. Drifting ball up the middle. Aquara brings it down nearly to his teammate's advantage. Masai, block tackle.
And Nia Kuri has slotted into that right back position for Azzurri, which has allowed Nathaniel Paredes to move forward to that right sort of wing position where he operates very effectively with Chris Aquara and Daxon Masai. He's moved into that midfield three with Tiga Ajike and Anwar Ababor. So plenty of positional changes on the back of that substitution. Very creative player too, Larry Nia Kuri. So hopefully it means they get more ball to Paredes' feet and they're able to continue. But you can see the cramps here with Chris Reinberg. I suspect that the physio is about to come on, and I'd be very impressed if the physio can actually resurrect his night here, and we'll probably see the last substitution and a debut in injury time for young Michael Kudra.
Is he warming up, John?
He's not, but he's been summoned. But, you know, that's what young fellas can do. They can get on there and get amongst it.
So Reinberg, I see the physio there tending to him, but I don't think they're going to take a risk here, and they're just going to make the sub straight away. What a time to enter the first team for Michael Kudra. His team has the advantage. There is a spot in the grand final to hold on to. Something to play for and something to defend. What position is he going to play, John?
I suspect he's going to play right wing, but he's going to get sucked in towards the ball. He does score goals for fun in the younger grades and did have a very good grand final. But whether he plays 9 or just operates out on his right-hand side, we'll have to wait and see. But he'll definitely be up the front. He won't be down the back doing any defence.
And Azzurri will be hoping that's where the ball remains for the 11 and a bit minutes of this game. They don't really have a great chance to write home about during this extra time period. If anything, Mindil have had the two best opportunities to take a 4-2 lead. So Azzurri need to dig deep, and they need to do it fast. Dingle. All over the left. Eriku heads it away. Ajeke. It's a teasing pass. Paredes is able to bring it into his control and then produce a cross. Oh, it's batted away. It was a cross shot, nearly came off. And now squared back to the edge of the box. Mapindere arriving late. Middle defence convergence. Very nearly the equaliser for Azzurri. Mapindere again. Chopping on the ball, keeping possession. Lifts across, oh, diving header. And Aquara committed himself, but it ends up sliding through the penalty area and out. But what about the chance there that was coming in from the right side, which needed the touch from Arlo Race to stop it falling in?
Oh, it was a very sharp save from Arlo Race. He was backpedaling quickly and just reached up and got a massive hand to it. But then the ball back in for Mapindiri was fantastic, and a huge diving header there from Gutierrez, just unable to get that one and get it on target.
Now Charles Eriku is down. And he's not going to milk it. He's going to get back to his feet. Good sportsmanship. He'd have every reason to stay down and call out the physio and just wind time off the clock, but instead he's getting on with the job. And does Mindil drive it down to right forward? It's a Azzurri ball. Reditas. Quackinen. It's a well-measured pass. Winman was trying to run onto it, just couldn't win the duel. Paredes. Blind turn up the wing, but he had a man there. Taken away by Mindil, though. And the youngster, Kudra. Oh, he wasn't on the same wavelength as his teammate on the return pass. Ababor. And now the long ball. But it's all Mindil, albeit the goalkeeper out of his line raced, and he plays it safe He just hits the touchline rather than get cute at this late stage. Oh, it's an errant touch and a cheap giveaway there by Anthony Niakuri. Mindil won't mind. It's a chance to take the ball. Don't keep it for long, though. What minute do they start to take it down to the corner and waste time, John?
I think you'll be 27, 28 before they start doing that. It's still going to be end-to-end for a few minutes yet.
Paredes, he's tried the cross shot a few times. Now he's just going to shoot. That wasn't even disguised as a cross. That was just trying to mug the keeper. And Arlo Race says, get that out of here. Goal kick.
And one man on the pitch who won't be upset by that is our centre referee, Ryan Prescott, who just off camera is down stretching out some calves of his own that are tightening up here after a tough night. So that tells you how end-to-end it's been when the referees are starting to cramp up as well.
Well, is he the more likely to get the grand final, or is the ref in our other semi tomorrow the front runner?
I genuinely don't know. They've both had fantastic seasons. It could be either of them, but obviously you'd hope that he doesn't pick up an injury and make the decision for you. But he's had a very good game tonight. There's been nothing particularly controversial, but he's handled himself well, Ryan Prescott.
Yeah, handful of yellows, but we haven't had really any contentious penalty shouts or tight offside calls. It's still time for something late, though, to be a talking point before we're done. Azzurri want it to be a goal for them, to equalise, to keep them alive, to get this game to a penalty shootout. Brought down by Gutierrez, but he can't retrieve the ball. It's going to be Azzurri's again. Clarken's still full of running. He just probably did enough to make that pass a hit and hope. And they all become so important at this time of the night when the clock is the enemy of Uni Azzurri.
And an interesting one here, Tayo. We're down to just over 6 minutes to play and still no Anthony Delembo. He's the only substitute that remains unused of the 10 at the moment. Such a vital player and a calm player on the ball. You've almost got to roll the dice if you're Coach Radidas here and get him on there just to see if he can spark something because the freshest legs on the pitch.
Down the right, Paredes unable to run onto it, but he has gone back to that right wing position, and the ball is going to present itself to him here. He wheels up across, and it's the equaliser! Paredes was the key, and Aquara has come up on his goal. He'd been starved of chances, but strike number 23 of the campaign makes it 3-3. And the move over to the right flank for Nathaniel Paredes. He's got an assist with his wrong foot, almost by accident. But you know what, John? They'll take it at Azzurri because we're level again.
Oh, they certainly will. And, it's not the prettiest goal that Chris Aquara will score, but he's going to take it to get his team back in it with 5 to play. We called it early. Paredes was wasting the centre of midfield. They've got him back out on the wing. Aquara's goals almost always come via Nathaniel Paredes, and haven't they delivered there? And high drama here at Darwin Football Stadium with 5 to play. Pick a winner now, who knows?
Well, if Mindil make the grand final, they're going to go back over the footage and pick apart exactly how he was so unmarked in that situation. But they've got to get there first. Otherwise, they'll spend the off-season mulling over it instead. High ball. Don't tell me they could score again and make it 4-3, or they needed to hit the feet of Clarken there. And now, Gutierrez. Oh, Arlo Race, keeper sweeper. You called it early in the first half, John, that he was playing a more advanced role, and he needed to have that mindset there. Otherwise, Gutierrez was through. Might still be in again here, and it's knocked away from him. And now Mindil, they need to sharpen right up. As of right now, they've still got the 50-50 chance of penalties. They do not want to let it slip here.
And the temperature's gone up. Here both sides are really lifting. Neither of them want to go to penalties. They're both looking for a winner here in the 120.
High ball, hopeful ball, and Race just knew exactly where the limits of his penalty area was. Came out and claimed with confidence. Taiki Kudo. And now Mindil's turn to go on the attack, end to end. Tanu off the bench, tumbling cross, still a chance, and Azzurri sink the slipper eventually and find the safety of the touchline. Could Tanu prove the difference in these last 3 minutes? And his throw here is going to beat everyone without a touch. Goal kick.
And my calls have been answered here. We will see Anthony Delembo coming on for the last 3 minutes. So all 16 players from both sides will be getting a run here tonight as we'll see if we can find a winner.
Well, we've been talking up his absence for most of the game, John, so it would be fitting if he doesn't do something in these last 3 minutes of play, if he at least takes a penalty and makes all the talk worth it.
You'd suggest that he definitely will. He'll be coming on for Daxter Masai, so the sub being substituted here as we get towards the end of extra time, and you think this is purely one to try and calm the game down. Delembo, so fantastic in that midfield. He's going to try and take some control there. And Masai obviously wasn't promoted to be one of the penalty takers, and so off he comes.
And I also think that if you need to do something like commit a professional foul to save the day, Masai's on a yellow, Delembo obviously a clean slate. So they've taken off a player with a booking, just in case it comes to something like that in these desperate final stages as the gaps start to open up for both teams. Azzurri will still fancy their chances of winning it without the need for a shootout. Ajeke. It's a pass that's bowled over Mapindere, but he's able to recover to his feet and play the ball on. Aquara. His confidence will be back up, scoring late in the night. Fans on their feet. Such is the excitement at the end of this game. 90 seconds of the 120 left. Mapindere deflected, and Race is desperate to prevent it going out for a corner. Of course, Azzurri scored their first goal of the night from a corner kick. So he boots it long. Oh, Quarkinen was trying to escape out the back. Important header there from Dingle. Penalties beckon. 60 seconds of the 120, plus any stoppage at the end of the night. And Azzurri, it's not going to go out. They've got the ball at the feet of Paredes. He's the man who can make something happen here. The cross shots have been honing in on goal. What can he produce here in a 1-on-2 down in the corner? Well, he was trying to buy a corner kick, and that is excellently defended by Jeffrey Williams to prevent conceding the set piece. It would be the latest of late winners from here.
We're going to have 1 minute of stoppage time here in extra time, Taya. So 70 seconds for someone to find a winner before we have to go to the credit penalty shootout.
Block the enemy of both teams then. First 30 seconds of stoppage passes without incident, but Quarkinen, one more incisive pass. Winman cleared from the edge of the area. And Uni Azzurri would just be wise to just keep it away from Quarkinen here. He's probably the only player that can come up with the miracle here on short notice.
I suspect he's going to get the throw, and this will be his last roll of the dice to get a shot off.
Well, it targeted him and it didn't arrive. Paredes wise to the danger, clears it away. Stoppage time is up. Penalties loom. Mifsud. One more Hail Mary, and even before the ball lands, it's a shootout to decide who will go through to the grand final. And the Football NT Men's Premier Division has delivered entertainment through 2 hours that you would not find in too many places around the footballing world. Full time, 3-3. Don't go anywhere. We've got a penalty shootout coming up. And of course, tonight's match brought to you by Pilot. Pilot is the most convenient way to deal with common men's health problems. Men in Australia aren't known for going to the doctor. Doctor's trips can be awkward and time-consuming. Pilot fixes that problem by bringing the doctor to you via the internet. Prescription treatments for hair loss and other common issues. Free delivery. Scan the QR code on your screen to find out more. Thanks to Pilot. But now, time for penalties. John Dean, who do you fancy?
Azzurri really have their tail up after getting that late winner. 15 minutes ago I would have said Mindil Aces, and I still think that Arlo Race is the keeper that's going to make the biggest difference in this too. But Mindil got their noses in front for the first time tonight, and they're feeling like they've let it slip here, and you can just see some of the heads are going down there. Whereas Azzurri, they were dead, they were down and out on the canvas 15 minutes ago. They got their tails up, and if confidence is anything to go by, their players are going to step up and really hit the mark here. So I'm tipping it to be very close, but I get it in a close one.
And hello to everyone in the Facebook comments and the YouTube comments, because whenever it goes to penalties, that's when it tends to explode, the viewership. So great to have your company here. Football Northern Territory, Men's Premier Division, Darwin, Australia for our international viewers, semi-finals, and I've got the Facebook Live open and the view count, John, is exploding. Teo Pellizzeri and John Dean, your call team. Let's recap the score. 24th minute, Tega Ajekes opened the scoring for Uni Azzurri with a header from a corner kick. 32nd minute, Charles Eriku, free kick into the top right corner, 1-1 at half-time. Second half, Jomianis Jolamal, free kick of his own into the top right corner, 2-1 to Azzurri. Equaliser coming from Mario Kwakanen, left-footed shot from the edge of the box. 2-2 in the 74th minute, 2-2 at the end of 90 minutes, and then in extra time, Mindil Aces took the lead. 94th minute, Charles Eriku with his second goal of the night. Right-footed shot across the penalty area into the bottom left-hand corner. And then with about 5 minutes to go, Uche Okwara diving in feet first to meet the cross from the right by Nathaniel Paredes, totally unmarked in the box, and knocking it in for 3-3. And that is how it finished after 120 minutes. The goalkeepers, you can see there in the fuchsia, Angelo Theodorakopoulos. For Mindil, their goalkeeper is the teenager, Arlo Race. Is the exuberance of youth an advantage here as well, John, for Arlo Race?
Look, it certainly is. He's 6 foot tall, and he's 7 foot tall, actually, Arlo Race, and he'll feel bulletproof right now. But look, Angelo Theodorakopoulos is a wily old customer. He's been in a lot of shootouts before, so as I said, he won't be as mobile as Arlo, but he can play some line games as well on there. But, if Race saves the first one, don't be surprised if he saves another one or two after that as well. He's a fantastic shot stopper, he's a lovely kid as well, but a fantastic shot stopper, and if he gets one, he'll get many.
And teams, of course, discussing penalty taker order as well. Hellenic and Katrina watching on. The second semi-final coming up tomorrow. Platform you're watching on is where you'll be able to see that game tomorrow night. There's the Mindil huddle. Arlo Race, the keeper, in the green there. Have they had the coin toss here, John? Because that is also important, who gets to shoot first.
They have had the coin toss. I'm just waiting on notification to see who goes first.
And which end they're going to go to as well. That's why the keepers are lingering near the halfway line, because I'm pretty sure the officials hadn't decided yet.
Yeah, they're shooting down the northern end of the ground towards the McMillan Road end. So with Mindil shooting first, Theodorakopoulos will be first to save, and whatever breeze there is that's lightened right off here, it is going to be blowing into the shot taker's face. Very light, shouldn't have an impact.
Well, we've seen the two free kick goals to this end. Now the penalty spot is the order of the night, and it's Mindil to shoot first. Mario Kwakanen has already scored one tonight. I suspect he'll take it left-footed. And And Angelo Theodorakopoulos is going to make him wait. He's going to walk down to the goal line and let the games begin. Penalties to decide who goes through to the Men's Premier Division Grand Final of 2020. This COVID-interrupted season, such a long journey for both these teams. For one of them, it goes to the final game. Last word from the referee, Ryan Prescott.
I'm just going to say I suspect that Clarkin is going to absolutely lash this. He doesn't seem like the sort of player that's going to try and stroke this one in the bottom corner with any sort of finesse.
Well, referee's building the tension here. Clarkin doesn't want to get distracted by getting into too long a conversation here with the referee. See the linesman standing on the line. Arlo Race, the Mindil keeper, hoping his teammate can score. First shot in the shootout then. Clarkin against Theodorakopoulos. And he goes to the corner and puts it in. Keeper went the right way, couldn't reach. 1-0 Mindil. Clarkin, for whatever reason, he's being sent back to the halfway line. He wasn't allowed to go and take up a bit of a different vantage point. All right, next taker, Peter Reditis, John.
Yes, the captain. He wants the responsibility to get up there and even these things up. Potentially they do things differently in a stadium with penalty shootouts. I don't know what Clarkin was doing, thinking he could stand over on the side and watch, but Reditis has been around this league a long time. Still a young man, but very experienced. Expect to slot this one away too, right-footed.
First taker for Azzurri then. Reditis scores. Savable height, but the goalkeeper was already diving the other way, and he's put that in the left centre of the goal. And calm as you like to. No real emotional reaction, just a little clap of the hands. And now down comes Levi Winman, subbed on late in the game. Had that half chance with the header off the bouncing ball. Would have made it 4-2. Would have almost certainly been Mindil through to the final, but now it's his feet that have got to do the talking. Second
two
shot
good
coming up.
Really, Taya. Yeah, two really good headers, but he'll look to finish it off with his third opportunity for the night.
Winman's take. And he's managed to keep it down off the boot. It looked like it might have been skied, but just snuck in under the crossbar. 2-1 Mindil. They keep their perfect record going. And now up comes the man who scored the opening goal of the night with a header, Tega Ajeke. Played in defence, moved up to midfield as the game went on. And now the second penalty kick for Azzurri. Off a short run-up. Ajeke. And he scores, goalkeeper diving the wrong way. Just feel like he just swiveled the hips and swiveled the foot at the last second to steer it towards the left side. And now a very left-footed taker, John. Matthew Mifsud, the captain of Mindil.
Yeah, it is. He's a very confident taker as well. I wouldn't be surprised there's a little bit of mind games between Mifsud. He'll go for a very, very long run-up and try and draw Theodorakopoulos into a false dive here.
Mifsud. And he just guides it low. Keeper going the wrong way that time. So Theodorakopoulos went the correct way on the first penalty, but the keepers haven't really been close on any of the shots since. Mindil up 3-2. No scoreboard on your screen, don't worry, I'll keep you posted. 3-2 Mindil. Every kick has hit the back of the net so far. And now Nathaniel Paredes, who was excellent in open play for the 120 minutes, but he needs to cap off all that hard work by burying his penalty kick right here. Paredes' penalty. Oh, and the keeper went the right way but couldn't reach, and that is a well-taken spot kick by Paredes. He levels it up 3-3, but Arlo Race is getting closer, John.
Well, he certainly is. That was a very savable height. You know, Paredes is a fantastic player, and obviously he took the responsibility on, but we've spoken about it before, his background's in AFL, and, you know, I don't know how many penalties he would have taken through football, and that was a little bit of a nervous one for him there, but he got away with it.
The ageless wonder, 43-year-old Taiki Kudo, to keep Mindil in the ascendancy. Oh, and he finds the corner. It just kept rising away from the goalkeeper. And he goes and just points the fingers and salutes the crowd on the sidelines. 4-3 to Mindil, and now we reach the business end of the shootout. If Mapindere doesn't score, Mindil will shoot for the game. He must score here to keep it level. It's not sudden death, but it's close. Kelvin Mapindere. Arlo Race. Can he get a hand on this one? Can Mapindere keep Azzurri perfect? Scores, and again, a savable height, but too much power. Race was reacting a bit later. Kelvin Mapindere makes it 4-4.
You couldn't script this better, Teo. Sorry to say, but Ariku stepping forward.
Yeah, Charles Ariku goals in the first half, and then in the first half of extra time, a double tonight, up to 10 for the season. But he must score here. If he misses this, Azzurri will shoot for the game. Charles Ariku giving nothing away. And setting the keeper the wrong way, puts it in the corner. Just a stutter step run up and easy finish in the end. Cool as you like. And it is 5-4, and it is now match point. Uche Aquara has drawn level tonight with Simon Bell of Hellenic on 23 goals for the season. So as prolific as any player in the league at finding the back of the net, but he must do it here, no exceptions. Score to keep it going. Miss or save, Mindil are in the final. Aquara. It's 5-all, and we keep going. We have not had a single miss or a single save gone.
I must say, I expected a few more nervous penalties and some saves in this, but the keepers have not been anticipating. They've been trying to react, both of them, and they've not been quick enough off the line. You know, if Arlo Race can maybe just pick a side and go for it, you think there's a big chance of getting a hand to one of these Azzurri penalties, because after the first couple of penalty takers, nobody's really been hitting side netting or top roof. They've all been very savable heights, and it'll be interesting now as we get into the ones who obviously didn't want to take one to start with.
Start with the defender, Zach Kirby, short run up. Kirby scores down the middle. 6-5 Mindil. And this is where shooting first becomes such an advantage, John, because every second take is to save the game. You can't win it. All you can do is lose it.
There's so much pressure.
That is the pressure that is on Felicio Gutierrez as he comes down here to take this penalty. I don't like his body language, John.
No, look, he's a very stoic character. He's not the sort of person that would look like he's exuding confidence at any point in time. But, yeah, it could be a good call here. He's got hands on hips.
Gutierrez must score. Does score emphatically. Good poker face. And it is 6-all in the shootout. We get to have someone miss. We get to have a save. We're not going home until late, John, it seems. Next taker is William Reeve. Out of the starting 11 tonight. Subbed on during the course of the game. Another young player. Another defender.
And I'd be surprised after this if we don't see Theodorakopoulos step up to take one, because he can hit the ball sweetly for Azzurri.
Mindil shooting first. 6-all in the shootout. William Reeve. Oh, and the goalkeeper, he'll be ruining that Theodorakopoulos, because that was begging to be saved. Hit barely out of the reach of just an outstretched foot, and yet it hits the back of the net. It's 7-6, and the shootout continues, and now again it's a must-score situation for Anwar Arbabor. played the full 120 minutes in midfield. 7th taker for Azzurri. Arlo Race has been close to a couple. Dived the wrong way for a couple of others. Arbabor, the diminutive character here. Can he keep his team alive? Yes, he can. Goalkeeper nowhere near it, 7-all. And out come the shin guards. Don't take him out. He might have to take a second one if we keep going.
Oh, if he gets another go after another 11 takers, then I'm definitely not getting home for tomorrow, Teo.
All right, next taker, 7-all at the moment. And here comes Jeffrey Williams. Did very well as a full-back tonight. But now it's all about a penalty kick. And he scores. Theodorakopoulos was lunging and trying to reach it. But Jeffrey Williams makes it 8-7. And again, it is score or go home for Azzurri.
And it's going to be that man, Theodorakopoulos, that steps up to take it. I thought he would come in before number 11 because he can strike the ball very sweetly. So keeper v keeper here, Teo, to save the match.
Keeper v keeper, but he must score. Theodorakopoulos. Oh, he's hit the woodwork and it's over. And the Mindil Aces go through to the grand final after a marathon penalty shootout. They trailed twice. They led in extra time only to be equalised. 3-all after 120 minutes. 8-7 on penalty kicks. And it's Mindil Aces who are waiting in the grand final for the winner of Hellenic and Casuarina. What a semi-final. And they do the Viking clap in celebration. John Dean, we've been treated to a memorable semi-final tonight. Bring it home for us, man of the match, and your reaction to Mindil breaking their losing streak and going through to the final.
Look, as I said, they've got absolutely no quit in them, this Mindil Aces team. They came in on the back of a horrible run of form. They'll be behind a number of times tonight, as you said, but on the back of Mario Kwarkanen and Charles Ariku, they pulled one from the fire. Very hard to split them, but I've got to go with Charles Ariku. Just the way that he stepped up tonight. There's been a lot of criticism, and a lot of it's come from me, of the way that he's played over the last few weeks, but he's just pulled his side up from the canvas there and stepped up with important goals at important times. And Mario can feel unlucky that he didn't get it, but the two of them, fantastic. And we'll be back shortly with Bruce Stolder and myself with the post-game show and some reaction from some of those Mindil players.
Yes, so stick around for John Dean and Bruce Stolder in the post-game. On behalf of Sportscast Australia and also Pilot presenting tonight's broadcast, my name's Teo Pellizzeri. If you've enjoyed tonight, we've got a huge audience watching the penalty shootout. Don't forget, we come back and do it all tomorrow from 8 p.m. Darwin time. It'll be the second semi-final between Hellenic and Casuarina. Mindil Aces are waiting in the final after winning an epic penalty shootout. Stick around for the post-game show, the interviews and the reaction. That's coming up right here on the channel you're watching. But from me, Teo Pellizzeri, good night.
Well, this is all about numbers. 15 goals in the penalty shootout, 4 goals at the end of 90 plus, then another 2 in extra time. That gives us 478,000 goals and plenty of opportunities to have a lot of fun. That was, for a neutral, a special game of football.
Oh, it's just a brilliant night's entertainment, Bruce.
Exactly.
You know, and this Mindil Aces team, they don't have quit in them. They don't know what the word means. You know, they went behind a couple of times to Azzurri tonight. Their backs were against the wall. They finally hit the front, and only to have it clawed back at the very, very last by a fantastic goal from Chris Aquara. And then they got into the penalty shootout, and they managed to just hold their nerve that little bit longer. But, you know, whatever the price of admission tonight was, you should double it. And, geez, there's some expectation on Hellenic and Casuarina tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, to get anywhere near that is going to be a special game. Now, just quickly about Azzurri, they haven't made it through. Their season overall has been a really good one for them. They've found some great players, got a new culture building under Michael Raditis. You saw that as well. You talk about Mindil coming back. Azzurri had that in heaps as well. They hit that last goal. Chris Aquara, what a perfect person to do it, to get him into the penalty shootout.
Yeah, look, and for mine, as I said during the call, I thought Azzurri actually shaded the game slightly. They were probably a little bit the better team, but a draw was a fair result. And then when it goes to extra time, particularly to penalties, it's a bit of a lottery. And look, it's so unfair for Theodore Akropoulos to step up and hit the post there. He doesn't deserve that. But, you know, that's what you get in football sometimes. But they've had a fantastic season. They'll be really disappointed because they've had a huge opportunity to get through to a grand final here, and those opportunities don't come around every day. But well done to everyone involved in the Azzurri Football Club, from Raditis right through his squad. They've done really, really well this year. And, you know, hold your heads high, boys, and be back again next year.
Well, on that last point, the guy did hold his head high was the keeper. He missed his own penalty, but he was the first to go and shake the hands of every Mindil player. That said so much about Angelo.
Oh, just speaks to the character of the man and the heart of the club.
Yeah,
you know,
he's
and
a
that's what you
human
want.
being. All right, can we get Charles Ericu to come in, please? Charles, just hop in the middle of us here in this very efficient changeover and professional setup. Charles, first of all, do you have any breath left?
No, not really. Okay. You can tell I'm nervous. I don't know what to say.
No, that's all right. You just follow with us. John, you got a couple of questions for the young fella?
Yeah, certainly do, Charles. Look, a couple of things. First of all, I thought Johnny Pencho was going to take that free kick, and you've waved away. You got Captain Kay McDowell to pull rank and tell him where to go. Obviously, you were pretty confident. You must practice those.
Yeah, normally I practice them a lot. I do my own training and stuff, so yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. Well, the kids at home, that's what it can lead to. But we talked about your game this year, and at times it's been frustrating because we haven't seen the real Charles Ericu. I think we saw that tonight.
Yeah.
You really turned it on the big stage. Do you enjoy the big occasion?
Yeah, it really feels good, especially with the fans behind me and everything. Just the atmosphere is very nice.
Yeah, you've got your key fan here right now, but yeah, keep going.
Yes. Kane Stevenson,
yes,
live on Facebook and Instagram. I'm sure he's posting this out there. And the last one, club. I guess, just want to get inside your head a little bit before we go to sort of the team game. Mate, as you stepped up to take that penalty, obviously confidence was high. You've got 2 goals tonight, 1 from open play, 1 from set pieces, but you had missed a penalty earlier in the season. What was going through your head as you stepped up to take that one?
I just try to stay calm, just take some small steps, and then look where the keeper was, and then just put the ball.
He did, and it worked.
It's a simple game, isn't it?
It is. Listen, we've got one more question for you. You're in a GF. You were there last year as a club. You obviously want to go one better. What do you expect is going to happen this week? Hopefully, you'll just enjoy the grand final week. It's such a great build-up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it because we want you to enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I'll enjoy it. I'll try just play the same game here, and then hopefully we get a win.
Yeah, because you could be 29 in 10 years' time when John's talking to you and he's 33, and you may never be in a grand final again, and you can never assume you're going to be in another one. That's why we always ask you just to enjoy the week, do your best, and come out next Saturday and Saturday week. Sorry, I don't know who you're playing, and hopefully get a result this time.
Yeah, that's the one. We'll see how it goes.
Well done, mate. It's always good to see you playing tonight. You were on song. Thank you. Help out. Can we ask the other little gentleman who goes the other end of the scale, both in, but not in output, not in effect. Please come in, Kudo.
Come in, Taki.
Tiki, welcome.
Well done, mate.
Good to see you again. Always good to see you. Mate, that was a fantastic game. That was torrid and just went on and on and on. How's the engine?
Well, in the end, I was cramping.
Yeah.
Both
were?
legs. Yeah.
Yeah. All the tyres were having a problem, were they? Okay. I've got a couple of questions from John for you, mate. Well done.
Look, first of all, mate, really well played today. How did it go on the field? Because there were so many positional changes that you guys were making as the substitutes were coming on. It had the opportunity to disrupt the rhythm, but it didn't. You seemed to take it in your stride and actually get better as people changed more positions. Is that how it felt out there?
Well, I think so. Yeah, they're getting better and better when we change it. Then it works. So it was a good game, I think. Yeah.
Certainly so. We'll give Daniel McCormack some credit there for the tactical substitutions. And look, in terms of your performance tonight, it was fantastic. It always is. But if we compare this Mindil team this year to the one from 12 months ago, where I think the team was just happy to be in the grand final, now I feel like you guys have the opinion that you should be in the grand final, and there's a real mindset change. What's it like within the group?
I think we did lots of the physical training in the beginning.
Yep.
So we are our mindset.
Yeah.
We're gonna run.
Yeah.
More than the other people, other teams. So it was I think the basic mindset.
The loudest cleaner just went past. Sorry. Listen, I've got one question for you, because I never forget the time you just rolled up here at the stadium. I was here. You're looking for somewhere to play. I just went, you want to play football, mate? You want to sit down in Mindil. And then you did a bit of reserve grade.
Yeah.
But since then, you've just cemented the spot in the first grade. So obviously you're enjoying the time.
Yeah.
Your family are loving the time here in Darwin as well. They love seeing Daddy out there playing. Hopefully they're in bed now.
I think so.
Because I think it's already Saturday, mate. So look, from us, John and myself and everyone behind the scenes, have a great grand final week. Enjoy it.
Yep.
And all the best next Sunday.
Thank you very
Saturday.
much. Yeah, thank you very much.
Well done, mate.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate.
Well, that is Tiki Kudo. It's just been a long night, long day. My name is Bruce Stoller. This is John Dean. We're so happy to bring you this live streaming of a classic game of football. And we always say in every sport, particularly our sport, the semi-finals are always special. Oh, the hunger is incredible.
They are, but as we said in the call, the quality of the goals tonight, Ajike's header to open the scoring was just a strong piece of work. But after that, we had absolute top draw stuff. Both the free kicks from Azzurri and from Mindil Aces were both very, very good finishes. And Quarkinen to tie it up at 2-2 was brilliant. You wouldn't ask for a better game of football, Bruce.
No way. Now, the standards are set here. Tomorrow night, Hellenic take on Casuarina. 8 o'clock, 8:30 kickoff. I'm not quite sure. I don't know. I'm only running the place. But I know I'll be here, and I know everyone else will. This will be a big crowd, a big opportunity for both teams to go to the grand final, where they will meet Mindil Aces. On behalf of everyone behind the scenes here, thank you so much for taking the live streaming option tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow. Darwin football at its best, one last time.